they wander alone. Old ruins where fears have grown. Zombies watch from ancient stone. Whispers chill right to the bone. Gothic castles rise in the night. Gory entrails glide out of sight. Walls howling under pale moonlight. Darkness creeps and grabs too tight. You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from this EuroCrypt. Argento and more. Black love killers and goblins score. Vampires hunt their nightly feast. Lurking monsters are released. But beyond screen in a sepia dream. Melancholy miles downstream. No one's safe or so it seems. Worlds unravel at the seams. You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from this EuroCrypt.
All right, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, man? And we're gonna get into some Argento, man. Some Door in the Darkness, and we got special guest.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Johnny's Boutique Podcast.
Hey, what's up, man?
Dude, that was perfect. That was great, man.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be great, man. This is we're deep diving into this Severin set, man. Deep Cuts, and man, holy shit, there's a ton of shit in here, man. But it's gonna be a good one.
Before we get us started, thank you guys so much for having me on, man. Fucking
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Well, I know
Can't wait to go
passion.
over this shit with you.
I know your passion for Argento, man. So yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Like I say, anytime, this is going to be a start of a good series, I think, as well. So I'm well hyped for this one. I think this is going to be a great one.
As I'm going to sit here with the two of you guys are like the endless knowledge of anything Giallo, and I'm going to be sitting here just going like, shit. Like, I don't know if I can bring anything new to the table, but I'm going to try.
Oh, man. No, don't sell yourself short. I know you know a lot of shit on Argento. No, for sure.
Dude, I mean, dude, who doesn't? For anybody who doesn't even like Italian cinema, just in principle, or Giallo, the genre, at least somebody's gonna pick one film that's like, yeah, that one film that he did, that wasn't too bad. Like, I actually like that one.
Right.
So
yeah.
But just probably in our case, we probably like more than one.
Oh god, yeah, exactly. How does he rank for you, Johnny, as a director? Is he in your top 5, top 3, maybe?
Well, of course, man, like I'm just one of those old schoolers, man, who's going to be like, well, you always got to respect your elders. So Mario Bava is going to get it for me, number 1 right off the bat.
Okay.
That's Black Sunday for me. That's Dirk knows my girl's in that fucking movie. Like, nobody's going to beat that movie.
Yeah, man.
Barbara Steele's got it.
Yeah, Bava's my number. Well, he's my number 2 because my number 1 is Kubrick.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay.
But then it's Bava.
Yeah, Argento, man, for sure, man. I mean, I'll look at I love Bava's Son, man, as just as much too, man. I'll probably be buried with a copy of Demons if I'm really going to be truthful about it.
Yeah.
But Argento, man, he'd be right up under Mario for sure. For sure. As far as Italian cinema, Argento's got it for me, man.
Right.
I couldn't just say this one movie that he did definitely put him in the number 2 spot because he's got multiple movies where I still think Phenomena is going to be probably the one that's closest to my heart just because that story is fucking beyond just crazy.
Right.
But I'm a big fan of Suspiria too, man. Like I was, believe it or not, I don't think I watched Suspiria until like 2016 for the first time, and I was like, "Where the hell was this at all my life?" You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I got to it, and I've probably seen it at least 100 times by now. But
We got Matthew Black in here. He says, "My body is ready."
Body and mind is ready for this one.
Right.
Yeah. So how'd you fare then, Johnny, with his later, really, like, so say in the 90s with Trauma, Stendhal Syndrome? What are you like with them too?
yeah, so this is where I'm going to really disappoint you guys really bad. So I do have the release from Blue Underground from the Stendhal Syndrome. I got the Vinegar Syndrome release of Trauma, and those are two releases I still have not checked out yet.
Okay. No.
But I'm going to get there.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you though, like on Stendhal though. So when I first seen Stendhal, I fucking hated it. And then I watched it again, and it was okay. But then I watched it the third time, and then I fucking loved it. It's but we covered it, so then I dug into all the background information, and then that's when I like grew a bigger appreciation for it, and then things started clicking a little better.
Gotcha.
That, you know,
sometimes that's just how it is with movies, man. It takes a little bit to resonate. Telling you, man, the documentary Panico, I think that's probably, as far as documentaries go, like that's the holy grail documentary for me. When Shudder put that shit on and I watched it for the first time, I was like, I got it. Hopefully they do a physical of it so I could buy it. Sure enough, they did do it physical. You got to buy it overseas, but
okay,
it's worth every penny of that shit, though, man. That was a great documentary. I love the fact that they included.
I've seen
included
some
his
Oh,
of
daughter.
Yeah.
Asia is her name. Asia Argento. I believe
Yeah,
that's her
she
name.
was in that. What I liked about that documentary as well, he's like holed up in this hotel because before he writes any of the films he does, he locks himself away in this hotel, and he's maybe doing a film at the moment, but nothing's been said. No titles.
You got a Salty Dagger in here from Germany. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
But I like that doc. I gotta be honest, I do. I think after the controversy with Asia Argento as well, going back a few years, to see her in that as well is nice, and she did Black Glasses as well, his last film. So, but no, you've got some good stuff to come, man. If you've not seen those two films,
there's another one right there. Black Glasses, I believe that popped out. What was that?
It's Black Glasses and Dark Glasses, right? I see it. I see two different titles. So I don't know.
Dark Glasses, I think it was
American.
You got Texas in here. Hey to the panel of pain. What's
Hey,
happening?
what's up, Tex? What's up, man?
Texas.
Yeah. So
The documentary was great. I love the way they did the whole thing too, where they brutal honesty is something that'll always stick with anybody when you watch it. When you see his own daughter talking about when he casted the lead for Suspiria, that's when it really drove that wedge in his marriage, because that part was supposed to be for Argento's wife, and he just kind of so I love the brutal honesty of that shit too. So I think she might have revealed probably a little bit more than what he cared for, but it's nice to see that even though he's older now, that he's still like that eccentric who retreats to like his fortress of solitude to be the maestro that he is and crafts his work. So I love that shit. That's great.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's what I was like hearing him say on like going through this stuff. He was saying like that's when he does his best work, when he's alone, like away from
Isolation, innit? Yeah.
And during this time, this is like right after Four Flies, when he got into this, right? So this is Rye Television offered him this deal.
Yeah, he wanted to pretty much have a break because everyone was coming out and ripping off like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage or the animal kind of giallo films, with the title,
Well, just cashing in on it, right? I think.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And he got kind of pissed off with that, so he wanted to do something different. And I know this. I don't even know whether you would call this a horror series.
It's definitely suspense. Thriller.
Yeah.
Thriller. Yeah. 100% thriller. Yeah.
Kind of giallo elements in there to keep everyone happy,
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, he's getting away from it. So he's like at a transitional period in his life. He's getting away from his first wife.
Right.
And then they split custody on his daughter. Is it Fiora?
Fiora, yeah. She was only 2, I think, at the time.
Right.
So it's kind of but he was a really happy time in his life doing this because his last marriage all come to like fruition with the showing of Four Flies and Grey Velvet, because his wife was sat in the audience with him. And then when she watched the film, she fucking realized the whole film was based on Dario and his wife, Mimsy Farmers, kind of plays her role. And there was no way back kind of thing.
Yeah,
After that.
like it came out on the screen, right?
I'm glad that you brought that up. I was actually just telling Dirk too. Like I was just watched Four Flies on Grey Velvet for the first time, that Severin release.
Oh.
So I watched that for the first time, like a little bit last night, and I finished it today. So I was watching the special features, and they have Dario Argento, which is a very recent interview, and he said that upon the premiere, him and his then wife was sitting next to him, and she saw the ending for Four Flies on Grey Velvet, and she looked straight at him as soon as the credits rolled and was like, "Why do you hate me so much?"
Right.
Because she realized like he was telling that story from a very personal fucking background, and she was just like, "You decapitated me at the end. The fucking your lead has the same haircut as you."
Oh yeah, the musician. Yeah, that's Dario. That's basically
Definitely.
him. Yeah,
With the hair and all. I mean, just like it, man. So yeah,
it's great. That's one of those great things, man. Like the movie ends, but then you got so much more to dig on, man. Because like, look at that story right there. Like, who knows, man. Like as far as whether the internet or physical media would have came along, us three would have probably never knew that whole story unless we had something to dig through after the movie was done. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah.
Thank God for
I mean,
that.
the fact that he went out of his way to find that special camera that would shoot 1,000 to 3,000 frames per second just to get that shot right, where it's like the glass is breaking and the crash.
I was so hoping to throw that little tidbit out, and you guys would be like, "I never heard that story before." I'm like, "Yes, right there on the special features."
Right. We got Ryan Atkins in here, man. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
And text saying, "Hey, Johnny." Yeah.
What's up, Texas?
You got Tara Davila. She says, "Good evening, all. My first time to see one actually live. First time to jump in the chat. I have been a Giallo fan for years and years. You all are young." Yeah, I've seen your comments, and I appreciate the support for sure.
I mean, I'm not young.
I'm not that young. And, you know, I'm from '77. I'm a '77 model, I guess.
I think I may have you on Instagram, Terry, if I'm thinking rightly. So I remember, I followed her because I think she's done some stuff on Giallo in the past.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's good to see you here.
I'm glad that you got to catch it live for the first time, and I just happened to be the special guest for tonight. So I'll make sure we live up to this.
Right. Yeah. She put in a good word on us on the Alice Sweet Alice that we did recently. So
yeah,
way to go, Terry.
Pretty good. You got a Synth Addict in here. He says, "Hey guys, good job on Alfa Romero yesterday. I've not seen any of Doors Into Darkness." Yeah, man, this is my first time going through the Doors too. So
this is going to be interesting because we got two first timers, and I've seen it before, but I've not really, overly watched it. So it was good going back and getting a fresh kind of perspective.
Definitely. You got Holland Oates in here. What's happening? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Holland?
What's up, Holland Oates?
Yeah, sure. You got Justin Marino, Panel of Pain. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, man?
And I think we're kind of caught up, man. So you want to crank us off, Darren?
What you want, like an overview of the series?
Well, we can just get right into it, huh? Or do you
I mean, I've gone scene for scene on both of these as well.
Yeah.
So
we can just get right into Il Tram or The Neighbor.
Yeah.
The Neighbors first.
Tram, The Neighbor, yeah.
Yeah, Neighbors first.
Getting things twisted around.
So this one's directed by Luigi Cozzi, and he was he knew Dario back in like the early 70s, like a couple of years maybe, I think, before this. Right. And they've become really good friends. I think he owns a shop, or he runs a shop for Dario Provando Rosso in Rome. And there's a Giallo film, I gotta mention it, that Luigi Cozzi made called The Killer Must Kill Again.
Yep.
From 1975. If you guys can get hold of that one. I don't think it's ever got a Blu-ray release or anything, and it's superb.
Well, I guess I could go ahead and cover him, man. That's what I'm supposed to do,
yeah,
right?
Go on, go for it, man.
My bad, man.
No, that's fine.
I just thought you was going right in the story, but yeah, we need to talk about the director, man. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. But his first film was called The Tunnel Under the World, and it's made in '69, and it's like a sci-fi. I believe it's a sci-fi. It was super low budget. It was like when he was in school, it was like a school project, and then it turned into a full-length feature film. And then he did Contamination 1980. It's sci-fi horror.
Still
need to see that one. I know y'all seen that one. But
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But hey,
I'll
it
be
is
honest with
what
you, I didn't particularly like it much either.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
It's a
And
time
then this
waster, really.
masterpiece of a film, The Black Cat, man. This is a fun ass movie. It's kind of like an unofficial part to the Three Mothers trilogy.
oh no shit. Okay.
In a way, yeah.
I've
It's,
still not seen that one. I don't
it's fun ass movie though.
I've recently got it in as well.
Right. He actually, I think he was I'm trying to remember what he did on Vampire in Venice in 1988 with Kinski.
So he pretty much took over when there was a big argument on set.
Okay.
The director walked off set, so he literally had to take over and film additional scenes and all that.
He was second unit director on Stendhal Syndrome.
Yeah.
Man, he hooked up with Dario on Four Flies, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time they collaborated.
First time that they collaborated, and yeah, he I guess he shared writing skills or shared the writing with him, or he wrote it. I can't remember, but
I think they sat down and both wrote it together.
Yeah.
Over a good, quite a long period of time, because he said Dario was meticulous in his writing.
Right.
Just an honest question, for a guy who just watched that movie for the first time ever in his life today, was either one of you guys shocked that our lead character slept with his wife's cousin?
I mean, yeah, it goes to some places, that film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And looking at it, no, I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, no, that was kind of weird. I mean, you see it in a lot of these films, though. You see that kind of stuff a little bit.
I mean, we're almost made to kind of assume, okay, well, she's on the screen, so that she's on the screen, so there's a possibility that she's the person who's doing all this, right? But then, of course, she's the one she's the victim who actually gets the fucking cut across the forehead and then stab, which is a great ass scene. But it's out of all characters, Argento could have brought to the screen, him and Kazi writing that together. They could have been well, we gotta come in from the side and bring this character in. Well, how about making his wife's cousin? And guess what? You're gonna sleep with her. And it's okay, well, we'll do it in the bathtub first.
Yeah,
it's great.
We got CK in here saying, "Sup, boys? Don't forget to finger bang that like button and whatnot."
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. We got Soul in here, man. Salty Dagger, Salty Dog or Dog. So I'm just trying to catch up with these guys. Better Before Worse. Contamination is bad, but the score has amazing Goblin stuff. Some of it reused in Hell of the Living Dead. Okay.
Oh shit. Nice. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. You was right there, right when Kazi started actually got his him and Argento actually worked together, collaborated on that first piece, which was Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Go ahead, man.
That's all right, man. You feel free
you're
to
good, man.
whenever, man. It's good conversation.
No big deal, man. There is one I definitely want to check out though of his that I'm probably, if there's a release, I'll get it, man. Check it out. It's called the Black Hand. It's a Policio Tedeschi. It's also the birth of the mafia, but the Italian, I think I can say this. It's La Mano Nera. So,
I'm not sure if that has actually got a release. Thinking about it, I've never seen anything come up.
But yeah, man, he's been around. He's even worked on special effects. I think on Phenomena. I think he
he's kind of an all rounder, isn't he? Just kind of. Dario famously, if you see behind the scenes footage of any film that he's on, and he's always shouting out Kotzi, basically his right hand man.
He's like his. I was getting this might be wrong for me to say. It felt like he's kind of like his, yes man, because on the interviews, it was like he was just praising Argento.
I think he can basically put up with Argento's shit more than anyone else. They don't seem to argue.
Yeah,
but he did do it.
In 69, he put out what the sci-fi film you said. Well, in 69, Argento was already shooting Bird with Crystal Plumage. So
that's right.
He definitely at the same time, they were both making their first feature debut film. So of course, Argento's the one who hit the splash in the water. And he was like, fuck, let me go see if this dude needs his coffee.
Right. So Argento went on to obviously make Deep Red, and Luigi Cozzi went on to make a film called Paganini Horror. Have you seen that, Johnny?
Yes, sir.
It's entertaining. It's not great. It's not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's not. And I think we can all agree, man. Like that Severin release, that's all great, but the artwork for the fucking that movie is great. And then you watch the movie, and you're
superb,
like, damn.
with the violin and all that shit.
Well, I mean, this is not great either, but it's entertaining. So
Gotcha.
The Black Cat.
That's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah.
I suppose
It is entertaining. But let's see what we got going on here. We got Adrian James says, "Hello, fellas. What's going on? Always
Hey,
good to
what's
see you
up,
in
man?
here. I appreciate everybody in here, man. Y'all hit the like button if y'all think about it. Salty, you like hot dogs? I don't know what's going on with the soul
What
over
the fuck, man?
here. Yeah, but horror caffeine. Cheers, guys. Just got here. Have a great Sunday. Oh man, that's the
No,
first time I've seen horror caffeine in here. I think.
There's a few new names I've not seen before. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, Dagger, speaking our language. All right. Well, you want to get into it, man? I kind of covered Kazi, I think, Cozy, however you want to say it.
Right. So, do you want to go into the music? So, the music was done by Giorgio Gasolini, and he does the music for all 4 episodes.
Yeah, he does them all. Yeah.
He was famously.
I was looking through his filmography, and the only thing I really recognized was Deep Red with God.
Yeah, but you know what happened on Deep Red? So he
Yeah.
started off doing the score for Deep Red. Argento got pissed with him, didn't like what he was doing, and then he brought on board then Goblin.
Oh,
so but you do hear some of his score in the background in Deep Red. Still bits of it are in there.
Okay.
But he's not really well known for much. He did So Sweet, So Dead, one that me and Dirk's covered. It's pretty good. 5 Women for the Killer, which is not so good giallo, really. And he did one, you know, since he died, so I don't know how that works, but called The House of Forgotten Souls, that was brought out in 2023. So yeah, he's not that prolific, to be honest.
Right.
Kind of a journeyman kind of composer. There's not much to the cast in this one either. There's like 4 or 5 members. That includes Dario Argento himself.
Right.
For the introduction.
What'd you think about his acting right there when he's like, "Oh damn, it's broke, it's busted." It's like,
I mean, you could tell why he's behind the camera most of the time.
Yeah, he needs to stay behind the camera a little bit.
I like the fact that he does that kind of Alfred Hitchcock thing.
That's what he's going for. Yeah.
Yeah. And this really made him popular, not just his films in Italy, because obviously you had to have been a certain age, but this kind of, you know, anyone could put on the TV, and there was 2 channels at the time. So this kind of bombarded him right to stardom, superstar, like rock star status.
Wouldn't you say though, like if you're, let's just say you're not so much giallo enthusiast, but you are a Dario Argento enthusiast, wouldn't you say you got to get this? Wouldn't you say, like,
it's a must?
For all the behind the scenes shit, if you're like really, I mean, it's definitely worth it. And the way Severin did this, man, like these hard, sturdy flipper, it's top notch, man. Like Scream Factory's not doing that shit.
Nope.
You know, it's flimsy kind of, you know, whatever.
Like I said, man, I wish that was like, you know, like a mandatory thing. Like if you got a case you're going to cram 4 discs in, do it like this with one of these cases. Like, that's the way to do it. So yeah, 100%, man. I dig the hell out of that case. Yeah, even if you're not like a Argento nut and you're just like I mean, you got 4 stories right there, not to mention, you know, the night shifts and all the other stuff. Well, you still got 3 other directors shit to explore because you got Kazi's first one right there.
Right.
We got 2 more episodes on disc 2, which we'll cover in a week from now. But anyway, I mean, there's enough special features on there to kind of satisfy anybody, I would say, even if you're kind of like getting into Argento for the first time, like, let me find out some more about this guy. Boom, it's right there in that one package.
Definitely, man, because he goes through every one of his films almost. I believe, damn near.
Yeah, man.
All the
There's some
ones.
spoilers in there too,
even
man.
Some
like
stuff that's not big. I mean, it goes through a lot of that, but I know a lot of people might complain of the way it looks, but the film, the actual negatives were lost or whatever. They couldn't find them. So this is pulled from the video, right? From the masters, the video
master
masters.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks good for that, and I'm glad we got it. So
right before they rolled this out, David Gregory was doing his podcast, the Severin podcast, and they were kind of going over, of course, when he got to, you know, doing opera on 4K, we got deep cuts, and then he was going to exclusively put what was that? I think it was he threw this movie in there too because the lead from Opera did another movie.
Yeah.
So this was like very limited as well. So he was pushing that bundle. But as he was going over Deep Cuts, he was going into it and he was just like saying, hey, like, if you only knew how much man hours like this took to compile all this together and get what we could, because they were reaching out across overseas to get things from either Rome, different parts of the UK. Like, it didn't just come from one source, like it come from multiple sources. And if I had to guess, man, since it's got Argento's name on it, David Gregory was like, okay, this is going to be that one release this year where we spare no expense. Throw whatever cash you got to. We got to get this stuff in. So hopefully it sold well for him too, man. Because, I mean, it's got Argento's name on it, but we all know the 5 days probably didn't sell that great for Severin, right? I mean, that's probably one of those that a lot of people probably slept on.
I know I did. I didn't grab that one, to be honest. But I think he was he didn't really want to direct that, but then once he did, he was happy he did it. He didn't regret doing it. Which you learn all that on this edition right here.
Exactly. About the actor pretty much saying like, hey, like, doesn't he do his own thing? Like, why is he coming over to our world? And he was like, well, fuck it, then I'm going to direct this movie.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But man, well, I guess we can get into it, man. You want to kick it off there?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know I already said that, but then I didn't.
That's okay.
Then I didn't cover Kazi and shit, and I was like, whoa.
I'll just briefly say about some of the actors. So you've got Aldo Reggiani, who plays Luca. He was in a few gialli. He was in The Cat and the Nine Tails, The Sunday Woman, and The Cat. Laura Belli, who I was like watching it, I was thinking, where the hell do I know this girl? And then she's in Almost Human, Lindsay.
Oh,
she's the daughter who
gets kidnapped.
Yeah. So
definitely. I knew I recognized her too, man. But I knew you was covering the actors and stuff.
Yeah. But that's about it for the actors. There's not really that much, obviously. But the opening. So you've got Dario Argento. He introduces the first 4 episodes of this. And he basically says, these include anguish, fear, anxiety, suspense.
Right.
But he says that they're gialli, but they're different from the norm, which is exactly right if you watch them.
And he says something about going into the dark and turning the light off, or the door closes and you're in the dark forever, or some shit like that.
Exactly, yeah. Which
so he sets Dario, it up pretty damn good.
But then of course he plays the character, doesn't he, at the start as well? So that's kind of different, because even though he's doing his Hitchcock thing, and Hitchcock did have like a cameo in most films, he didn't really go as far as to play scenes. But so you got Dario. He plays this guy whose car's broken down pretty much. He gets a lift off this young couple and they got a baby. They start talking and they're like going up to their new house on the beach.
Which is odd when they pick that hitchhiker up, because you're like, wait a minute. Okay, first off, rule number 1, you're not supposed to do that shit. And then rule number 2, you got the baby in the back seat. He's going to be sitting
exactly.
They sit him right next to the baby, a 7-month-old baby.
and then something else that I found was very weird. I was I had to do a double take on the car because it's like got red primer, like it's been hit on the front. Yep. Of course, it's a young couple, right? But it's like been bondoed and like primed with red, and it looks like blood almost when they're, at one point when they get stuck, they're on their way to the house or whatever. And they're trying to get the car out, and she's like, "Lift the car," or that's later. But anyway, my bad. I'm
not to mention they try to get that fucking car unstuck twice.
Right.
And the car finally gets unstuck. It's one guy out there, just
one 65-year-old guy.
Yeah,
right.
And the way he picks up the husband as well, the young boy, he puts him over his shoulder as if he's like just fucking like easy to pick up.
So that's something I wanted to ask. Like, you think we should spoil this?
I don't think you can spoil this because we know the killer, don't we? Right from the start. I mean, the ending,
Yeah. I'll still go ahead and just throw it out there because I don't want to hear nobody say anything. You know what I mean? So I'll just do this.
Mother, this cloth smells of death.
Goddamn. What a hell of a warning.
But yeah, It's fucking crazy, that is.
So if y'all don't want to be spoiled on these, man, I know a lot of people haven't seen them, and I didn't want to ruin it for anybody, but you know.
Yeah,
like Darren said though, man, for the neighbor, man, it's already set up where we got 3 people on the screen. Well, 4 if you include the baby that we rarely ever hear until the very ending, which is a big fucking spoiler. But it's already set up. The most intense moment is where pretty much what he forgets they left that fucking Zippo lighter to light the candle with upstairs. I mean, that's pretty much the biggest spoiler of that. Well, you see, leads up to what happens.
You see that one part where his wife kind of griping at him to bring her robe, and he's got her.
Grabs
he pulls the belt out of the robe, and he starts wrapping it around his hand. You're like, oh shit, this dude done had enough. He done had enough of this bitch. So,
I mean, and that kill as well is off camera too. So we don't go too much into gore or violence in this. It's more. Like you say, just creepiness and suspense.
We got a Gory Tiger in here. What's going on?
Hey, what's up,
Gory
man?
Tiger?
Yeah. And does Wicca enter your category?
I'm not into Wicca myself personally, but
not particularly. I mean, I know in films and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man, we all dig some witches and witchery.
We all dig some movies. Dark stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side and all that.
Yeah.
Right. So this couple then, so they go to where they're going to be moving into this new house, and it's near a beach. They kind of go in and it's all dark and mysterious. There's no electric on, and they got no light, no phone line, nothing. And they kind of just settle down for the night, I guess. They got the baby. They want to get blankets for the baby, so they decide to go upstairs and ask because they've heard us like an elderly couple.
Well, yeah, because the house is nasty too. It's filthy as hell.
Yeah,
and they're talking about giving the baby their blankets, so they're like,
gotta have some sleep on
the nasty ass floor. Then,
yeah. And he goes upstairs, then and he knocks on a door. I think the guy answers him, but doesn't come out and says, "No, we got no blankets." Again, this is off screen. And he they go back and they settle down because he's been looking forward to this Frankenstein film, haven't he, on his little portable he's got.
He had to grab it. That's the thing too we didn't mention. So when the car broke down, they're getting their essentials out of the car. He's got to grab the little TV. Abbott and Costello and Frankenstein's going to be on.
Yeah. So they start settling down to watch that, and then all of a sudden they see this big fucking like blood kind of thing in the corner of the ceiling. Where it's dripping down. Yeah. It's and obviously at first I think the guy says, "Oh, why are you worried about it? It's only a little stain," but it keeps getting worse obviously as it goes. So they decide to go upstairs, don't they?
Yeah, she mentions something about, is this place damp? And so I was like, I'm not used to that, hearing that. Like, is that like common? Have you ever heard of that? A place
it's
damp?
common in the UK, and definitely in Italy, because of Venice. They're living near water, and you get water condensing into the walls, and
they're right on the beach too, man. So no matter what, like of course, like just think of like a 2-story house or a house with a basement in it. Like, dude, like think of mold. Like everybody who has a basement, you don't tend to it. Like you're going to end up getting mold. So that's usually caused by humidity, dampness, and all that shit. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what we call it here. Like we worry about like black mold and shit. Me being in the field that I'm in, that's what it's known as. Like mold is the main thing people are worried about. But anyway.
But so Luca got this lighter and he's lighting up the candles and all that. Like we say, she wants to get blankets for the baby, and they kind of,
and I thought that's odd too, man. They leave the baby
right
in a room.
Right.
And you're like, damn, there's another part you're fucking up, like, what are you doing?
They actually leave the baby later on as well when they go to get the car out.
That's what I'm saying.
There's multiple times, like anybody could be watching this. Like I was even asking my wife last night. I was like, there's like so many minutes go by, and we're like, dude, they're not even in the same room with this baby. Like, why hasn't the mom put her fucking eyeballs on that baby in a while yet? Because any other mom would be like, it's 7-month-old baby. Like, what the hell? And
it took, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking of like, this is in 72, right? So the Italian audience at home is probably screaming at the fucking TV, like, what are you doing? Like, kind of
She's
shit.
a bad mom.
Yeah.
But by far the greatest scene is when he goes upstairs. Both of them actually. They leave the baby downstairs. They go upstairs to investigate.
Right.
They can't get no answers, so they kind of try the door. They walk in, and it's probably the best scene of the film where they come across this dead body in the bath, basically. And then from then on in, it does get good. I think it starts to get going a bit more.
It
You know, because you got the slow build up, haven't you? But then it starts to kick in.
Also, let me go back a little bit. I know we forgot to mention this.
Go on. Yeah.
When they first come in, so it's perfect for the first episode, right? So they open the door, and it's just like door in the darkness because there's no electricity in the house.
Right. Yeah.
So it sets the mood and atmosphere right out the gate. I see Dwight Schrute asking, are the films on this dubbed in English? And unfortunately, no. But I think this is the best you're going to get if you wanted to. If you're interested in this set, I don't think you're going to get anything better than this. Like I said, the film negatives are lost. So
don't expect Blu-ray quality or even like it's pretty bad DVD quality if I'm honest. But
right, I mean, this
like
is
you said
good.
Earlier, it's good to get apart the CDs because these could have been lost.
This is pretty good in my opinion, for sure. I know it's not widescreen either. But it is what it is.
We're pretty much safe to say, like a lot of other boutique labels that we know of, they would have probably like looked at this and been like, "Can we make this look any better? Because if not, we're just going to put this on the back burner and worry about this over here." Like they've just bypassed it. So it's like one of those things where, like, even like you said, like so, you might not be getting like dubbed in English, but I think once you see exactly how this looks and what they could do with it, just to preserve what they could, you'll kind of be a little bit more grateful about it because it's like, okay, well. They didn't take it and certainly turn it into something else. Like they just try to make it look the best it possibly could because they basically had nothing to work with. So,
yeah, and then each one of these is like an hour, too.
Yeah.
So, I think both of these tonight that I've seen, I mean, are pretty decent, and I will revisit them. So there's only a commentary.
I don't think you'll be disappointed with at least one of them next week either. Because there's one really good one, I think, to come. But yeah, so you've got the suspense where they see this dead body in the bath.
Man, that shot is pretty damn good.
I mean,
it's pretty good.
Yeah. And then, you've got the whole thing where he kind of, the killer comes back, at one point when he goes back up for the lighter because he loses his lighter, realizes that he's left it at the crime scene.
Yep.
That's all done great, I think. Definitely your typical kind of giallo stuff going on there. And she tries to stall him, doesn't she, the killer, by telling him, I need a candle, I need some light.
She asked him the worst question possible to send him back upstairs. Like, who the fuck has a pack of matches in their pocket usually, right? He wasn't smoking or anything. So you're like, bitch, if you ask him to go get a pack of matches, he's going to go upstairs where your husband's hiding.
Right. Yeah.
And that whole sequence is great, though, the suspense during all that time.
Yeah,
because it's like she's freaking out. She's just alone in the dark, pretty much, like wondering what the hell's going to happen, what the hell's going on with him. And then, she's very vulnerable, and she's very believable. She pulls it off. I think the acting is pretty damn good.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
We got Dwight saying they got all 4 shows on YouTube for free. I'm going to check it out. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I would,
the thing is, though, you might got the shows for free, but I doubt you got all the features on this shit, man. Look at that shit. There's a ton of special features on it. Just on this one disc is like 4 hours worth of shit.
Yeah.
Total, that's
not including the commentary.
No, more than that, because, I mean, including the commentary, that's 5 hours. Yeah. So, Synth says, Gasolini didn't make Argento happy in the 70s.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
In terms of the commentaries,
yeah, for sure.
I was a bit disappointed they didn't do commentaries for all 4 of these.
I know. I was kind of disappointed in that. I don't know why they only did the one commentary for the next one, but
yeah.
And Synth says, does Argento make a cameo in any of these? I know he appeared in at least one later project from someone else as an actor. Yeah, he's a hitchhiker at the very beginning of this one.
Yeah, and the film I think they're regarding to is one by is it come last year, wasn't it? Can you remember Noah somewhere?
It's a newer one, yeah.
Yeah, no, the name is Noah. I think the director's name is Noah.
Right. It's a newer film though, right?
Yeah, from a year or two ago. Noah
like
Gaspar, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. Irreversible.
Yeah.
The Irreversible director. Yeah.
Yeah, Noah Gas.
I think he plays. I think it's like the theme of the film is literally old people, Alzheimer's disease or something. From what I've heard, but I've not really, looked into it too much.
Right. Oh shit. Okay.
Damn. I see Dwight saying y'all should do a stream of y'all's top 10 Jolly one day.
Man, I could do the top 100.
That'd be tough. It'd be tough because how many is there, Darren? I know you know the number. There's over 200. Though.
There's over 200 Italian Giallos, but if you like American Giallo, Spanish Giallo, French,
right?
I've got a list of something like 500 films. So,
but just for the purist out there, there's like 200 something Jolly.
Italian. A lot of them are starting to get released as well.
Yeah, they are. They're coming
talking about that. We got Red Wings of Theatre coming, we on the box set.
It's coming. We're going to be covering that soon, like the Forgotten Jolly, Volume 8. Holy shit!
Did you order that, Johnny? Do you order that?
No, I haven't. I'm blown away. Like, God, man, they're already sitting on Volume 8. I remember when they first rolled out the first volume of that shit, man. Just everybody went nuts. Just because of course, it's got Jolly in the title. At that time, everybody was biting on that shit hard. Damn, they got 8 box sets of that now, man. It's kind of crazy. I wonder when, of course, it's Vinegar Syndrome, but I'm sure they got to cap off it somewhere. I'm just curious of what it is. They're going to give you like a dozen of those fucking things.
People are buying them, though. That's the thing. I think they'll carry on going as long as people are buying.
Volume 7 sold out quick. And I think it sold out because it was all 80s Jolly.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's what it was.
Those last 3 are like wild. Some of those films.
Yeah,
did do the review, man.
They're completely different from each other as well. Synth says, yes, Gaspar Noé, the extreme movement direction. Yeah, man, and I dig a lot of his stuff too.
I was trying to watch a film of his. I could be mistaken. This could be a completely different movie, and I just sound like a dumbass. But I think he did a movie called Climax.
Yeah,
and I was trying to watch that movie with my wife, and I was just hanging on for dear life, trying not to fall asleep because I just thought the shit was. It was ironic enough where it was like just fucking stupid to me, but I was just like, what the hell is going on in this movie? Like they all showed up to be a part of something and that they're having like some kind of dance. There's drugs that get involved in the punch or something. So I was holding on to then, and then there was a lot of drama in the middle. And I was just like, God, this is some high school teenage drama bullshit.
That's one I haven't seen of his, but I've seen Irreversible and Enter the Void.
Enter the Void
is pretty trippy. Irreversible though. Holy shit. But anyway, I'm not trying to go on a tangent on
that film.
But we will. We definitely will.
So I'm trying to think where we are next. So the killer.
Sorry, man.
So the killer, is this 65-year-old guy, but he's built like a fucking brick shit house.
Yeah, he's in World War II and shit.
Yeah,
right.
And you can obviously tell that his hair's been like spray gray because that's he's a lot younger than what he's playing.
Yeah.
But he does. I think he does do a good job.
He does. He looks menacing.
Kind of.
He's somebody to me, like not knowing shit about him, which I love. They don't explain too much about him or nothing, but you do get a little tidbit. You kind of get the vibe that maybe his wife has been controlling him his whole time they've been together.
He's like henpecked and shit, and
he just snapped one fucking day,
And this dude's strength cannot be matched either. Like the married couple tries twice to get their car stuck out of a little hole that started out as a little hole, but of course she kept pressing the gas, so the front tire, like driver's side tire, is just going deeper and deeper. But the 65-year-old dude walks out there, literally opens up the driver's side door, puts his shoulder on the frame of the car, and picks that bitch up right out of the hole.
Yeah,
it's like what?
Yeah.
It's great.
Almost like some kind of George Eastman type fucking.
That's what I was gonna
like,
say. He does remind me of Eastman in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, like 6'5" or whatever. But yeah, and he does have a goal, doesn't he? So yeah, so literally he's stuck in this apartment. They find out that this guy has killed his wife, and now they're trying to get away at all costs. With it, like you say, on the
And they're
beach with the
freaking
car.
out. Yeah.
They're going like frantic. They even leave the baby, like you said, in the place while they're trying to get away, which is crazy. But yeah, it kind of like the climax to this, it all like really works well because he starts fucking digging like holes on the beach for where he's gonna put their bodies.
Yeah, he's already got it
tying them up,
planted
doesn't
out.
he?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Once things start to get into it, it kind of goes pretty quickly. But there's like that slow build, which I like as well.
Then he ends up knocking the dude out, and and then you see this scene where like it keeps going back and forth from him to her,
right?
Him to her, and he's like got his rope and he's coming closer to her. I love that shit. It's great. I don't know if that was like on purpose with the lighting or whatever, but it's like you can see like these two green pins in her eyes, like
from
the light or whatever. The way it's done, I dug that shit a lot too. Maybe it was a happy accident. I don't know. But
I mean, she like manages to lock the door, you know, even though she's tied up. And then you see that great shot of when he comes through the fucking window. Like,
yeah, man.
And that's been used in lots of films since. Yeah. But no, like you say, you know, the suspense keeps going and going. Don't know at this point, is he going to kill them? But I presume he is, because he tells them at one point, he says, oh, you know, most old people lose a partner. One of them lose a partner at some point in their life. You two are going to die at the same time, pretty much. And you're like, shit, this is real now.
He's like, sorry, miss, you shouldn't have went upstairs.
Yeah.
That was definitely the grimmest line of this whole episode, too. He was like, pretty much, he was like, you know, married people, unfortunately, one of you is going to go before the other. But fortunately for y'all, you're both going to die right now. It's damn.
You get to be together.
But like you said, when he busted out the window, though, like the first thing he does is he goes inside and she's already done like where she's bound or whatever. She does that the little slide bolt that's on the door. He walks straight in there, undoes the slide bolt, opens the door, and rips the fucking slide bolt off the door. And you're like, damn, how strong is this dude?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Years of aggression pinned up, you know.
But yeah, like with that scene as well. So he has them pretty much where he wants them. We know that the delivery driver is going to be coming there. I think it's like 7 a.m. So it's kind of, we're kind of thinking, is he going to kill them before then or what have you? But I don't know. It's just,
and the way that plays out, right?
Yeah,
it's perfect. It plays out so perfect too. Like he didn't even realize that they had a baby until one of the two moving guys was like, "Hey, I saw them packing their baby stuff," and he was like, "A baby." He's like, "Oh fuck! Like you mean you already done tied them two motherfuckers up, and that baby ain't cried once?"
Yeah.
Ain't been fed or nothing. And but then they're like, then they hear the baby cry, and that's like the pin drop, the needle drop moment.
It's great too. That setup is fucking perfect, man. Like, and that baby just doesn't like let out a whimper neither. Like that baby's like full fledged, like just got hurt or like hit a coffee table or some shit.
And the way these dudes are looking at him, and they're just like they want to beat the shit out of him, kind of look like.
But the killer, he's just so fucking emotionless, isn't he? The way he plays it great. I gotta be honest, the actor, but he's just so cool, calculated with everything that comes along. But it's like, we fucking got you now. Right at the end, there's no coming back from this. I mean, I think this is a pretty strong episode. It's
definitely good, like damn good opener, man. And this might be the 100%. Best Luigi Cozzi stuff I've seen of his.
Oh, you still got to see The Killer Must Kill Again. So I think you'll like that one. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean, out of the ones I've seen,
pretty good.
It's only an hour, but I think he did a pretty damn good job for what he had. I mean, you could tell it's not got a lot of money involved.
Yeah. Right.
Its atmosphere, mood, the acting's pretty solid. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you've got to take into account that it is a made for TV. It's early 70s, so you're not, some of maybe the newer generation might not like this. If you're in your 20s, it might not be for you. I got to show this off. This was the first release from Maya.
Okay. Let me zoom in on that one.
Let me put it. My camera's usually got a glare, but there you go.
Yeah.
But I was a bit disappointed with this because Troy Howarth in one of the commentaries says that it's pretty much a bootleg.
So, yeah, that's what I heard.
But yeah. But I mean, I don't have to go back to it now anyway because I got the new one.
So you gonna throw that away, Darren?
No, man, it's worth it. I'm the fucking Argento man. So apart from that 5 days that Johnny was on about earlier, I've got every fucking thing Argento's done. Literally.
I'm gonna end up getting that 5 days just to do it. You know,
I will as well at one point.
Because I've got all his other damn movies. Why not? Like shit.
Yeah. I will at one point. Definitely.
We got Jackson Jack in here. He says, I just learned that Rey Mysterio was Robert Englund's stunt double in Freddy vs. Jason from a YouTube video. I had to tell somebody.
Rey Mysterio, man. His son, little Rey Mysterio, man, fucking Junior. Oh my god, man! Like both those guys are fucking legends to me in wrestling, man.
Okay, yeah. I remember Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's back in the days where they actually wrestled and not wrestled.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's a good opener though, man.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
I think most people's favorite will actually be the second one we're going to talk about.
Can you imagine too? Like, I don't know if you experienced this too, Darren, because I didn't really experience this, but so I was listening to the commentary on the next one we're fixing to talk about. So during this time, there was only 2 channels in Italy.
Yeah.
Only 2 channels in Italy. So this was like Argento was kind of a name already, but this really kind of boosted his name big time. And that's
not to mention we could probably predict that those 2 channels was the RAI and the other one was probably BBC, and that was probably it.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Because we only in the UK we only had 3 channels at that time, I think.
Okay.
And we're kind of I don't know if we're a bigger country than Italy, but I think we are possibly. But no, like you say, this next one he did actually do under an alias. So
man, a pseudonym.
I don't know why though, because
it is weird, right? It's the only thing he ever did. Of. Yeah, this is the only time he ever used a pseudonym, and it was Syria Bernadotte, right?
Yeah. So he never used that same name or another alias name. No film, television, even trailers, music videos. No nothing.
No, I think this is it. This is the only thing he ever used it for.
Damn,
which is weird. Right. Because I mean, is it like an open secret though? I mean, holy shit! You're telling everybody like you're presenting this door in the darkness, and you use an alias for your Iltram, right?
I wish I would have asked my wife because she was the one who like really caught that shit. But like she was real quick. She was like, "Who's the director of that again?" Rewind that one more time, and I was like, "Damn!" Like I didn't even catch it. I was like, I definitely want to know who the director is. And I went to go back, and she was like, "That's a fake name." And I was like, "How the fuck do you know that?" And she was like, "Okay." She was like, Italian and Spanish is almost damn near the same. That's a fake name. I was like, "Well, look it up right quick and see who it is." She was like, "Dude, that's Argento's alias name." And I was like, "Are you shitting me?" She was like, "There it is."
It's gotta be, yeah.
So I don't know what that translates to.
So I'm interested now. Did your wife actually like these 2?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like she was digging the hell out of that. But when it comes to Argento, though, man, here's like one of her favorite things too is like, of course, like her predominant language, of course, is Spanish. Right. So Italian and Mexican, like I mean, it's Spanish. It's pretty close.
Yeah,
but they have a different dialect, and they use a little bit of different dialects, I would say. But so she can catch on most of it. So, like, when I'm sitting there watching something and I'm reading the subtitles and she's watching it, she was like, just so you know, what you just read on the bottom of that screen, it's not even close what they just said. And I'm like, what the fuck did they just say?
That happens a lot.
So it's always good to have, like, a narrator with me, too, to, like, run through it with me because I'm just like, I would have never known any fucking difference. You know what I mean? I know what silencio means. I mean, or you can, cerveza. And that's about as far as it goes for me.
Right?
Yeah.
Pronto.
Yeah. But yeah, she definitely loved them, man. If I'd take my guess, the one she probably loved the most was probably, of course, The Neighbor, of course, because that had like the baby element, and we were both just cutting up with that shit. When we did get to the tram, there is a scene in there where we have one crazy guy who comes into the police station to be like, "Yeah, I did the murder.
Yeah.
I stabbed her like 8 times." And the detective was like, "No." He's like, "Well, 6. I stabbed her 6 times." And he's like, "No." "Well, I stabbed her 3 times." He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was loving that shit. We was rolling off the couch on that shit.
Yeah, this one's a good one. I do like the tram.
Before we get into the tram, I'll read this right quick. Synth says, Irreversible had a wild final scene. The aggro track called Rectum in the scene made by Thomas Bangalter from Daft Punk, sort of covering Throbbing Gristle's Hamburger Lady wild soundtrack. Yeah, I really dig Irreversible, man. It's
a lot of information right there.
Yeah, it's a hard watch.
Get through that one scene, then I've been saying that all the way through, and we covered it at one point on here.
We did.
Yeah, it's a brutal watch. It's fucking brutal watch.
It is, and it's still
that shit. I paid all that money for that. What was it? I think that was Indicator who put up that nice big box set I bought of it.
Yeah,
that shit still is in saran wrap over there. I still haven't got to that fucking movie yet. So it was Enter the Void from Arrow Video. I bought the limited edition one of that shit. Still ain't popped it open. I'll get there one day.
I think you'll
man, we're all guilty of doing that.
I think you'll dig both of those for sure. Irreversible has a 10-minute scene.
Rape scene, right?
Yeah. Pretty rough.
Fucking. Think if I spit on your grave, but maybe.
But the camera don't
even
cut.
worse, I would say. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
They don't cut. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get into the tram.
The tram.
And I need to explain who Dario Argento is to everybody, you think?
I don't think so at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I could just go through his 21 films right quick, but I think everybody knows.
But with this one, so this is kind of interesting. So you've got Enzo Carischio. I think I say you pronounce it, I'm not sure. But he plays Commissario Giordani. And what's interesting about him was he died very young. He died at 53 years of age. He had spinal cancer. But he's in, the reason I bring him up as well, he's in No, the Case is Happily Resolved, which is in the Years of Lead set. And it's a fucking banger, man, like a Pisteschi film.
Yeah.
He did star in Blood and Black Lace in a small part, and The Dead Are Alive, which is a good giallo as well from 1972. And he was, of course, in 5 Days for Argento, which you'll find a lot. You know, a lot of these actors did star in like Argento's films.
A lot of the people in this one are from the Animal trilogy.
Right, exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. You got Paolo Tedesco. She plays Julia. I think she's excellent in this part as well as his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. She was in Watch Me When I Kill, and that's another great giallo. Ring of Darkness, Silent Action, Martino film from 1975. And I think where she comes into it is the last 20 minutes, I think, of this episode is where it excels. I do like all the early stuff with they're trying to figure out what's going on. And I'll come into the story now, but I think the last 20 minutes when it turns completely into like a stalk and fucking slash, that's where it comes into it for me.
That's where it gets, So I was going to ask, I guess I can ask, I'll just wait. I'll wait on that till we're at the end. But
I totally agree with that because I know exactly what you're biting on right there. So, of course, he recreates the scene at daytime, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? You're not even doing this recreation at the right time. But as soon as he gets the idea and he starts phoning all those motherfuckers up to go do it at nighttime, that to me is like lighting the fucking dynamite for that episode. I'm like, yes. So that's where it took a really good turn for me because at the beginning I was just kind of like, all right, man, it's the fucking ticket collector. We all know this shit, and it was like, nope.
Right. Yeah, that would make it too obvious. Yeah. And then it's just a group of like suspects, you know. Yeah, but I was going to ask Dirk, do you recognize the old lady with the glasses from The Case of the Bloody Iris?
Case of the Bloody Iris.
Yeah,
I recognize her from
fatty old woman, then who's got the murderer's son.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other films I've seen her in too. I couldn't. Didn't
y'all get that copy from like a company who was like up and coming? Did you get like a review copy of that same title that you just said?
Yep.
Blood of the Iris, I believe. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. The Bloody Iris. Yeah. That's Celluloid Dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I remember those fucking cards that you got, man, with like the still frame shots. God damn, dude. I don't think nobody has topped those cards yet.
You can kind of see him back there. I don't know if you see the one Edwidge back there. I don't know if you can see it, but she's back there.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Talk
Yeah, that's the only thing
I
we
didn't mean
ever
to
got.
derail that shit.
No, they've got a couple of bangers coming up as well. So
Yeah,
we've
okay.
got Black Belly of the Tarantula. I think you'd like that one, Johnny. And Short Night of Glass Dolls, which is going to be released in the UK as well next week on 88 Films. I think you like just like knowing what you liked in The Neighbor. I think you'll love those films as well. But
Say
you
the
like
that last title again?
so Short Night of Glass Dolls.
That is a fucking great title.
Short Night of Glass
Jesus.
Dolls and Black Belly of the Tarantula. Yeah.
Black Billy
Yeah,
the Trick.
yeah. So Johnny,
yeah.
like, how new are you to like the giallo genre? Is this something you've like recently just got into, or maybe you've seen a few in the past and now you're starting to like want to check them all out?
Now I remember it was right around. I want to say I didn't bite onto it until it was 2016, I believe, and I kind of locked on to a lot of the Arrow video releases, the prior releases, like the Windows sets and all that good stuff, because I was wanting some of the OG Arrow shit, like Cult Labs. Not going to be a long story with that and go down that road, but as I started going, I noticed that everybody was kind of like Deep Red was that fucking thing that everybody was talking about. Like if I didn't hear Deep Red, it was Profondo Rosa, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go see what the fuck this movie is because everybody keeps talking about it.
Right.
So I saw that movie and I did like it. I went on to watch. I think I snagged a free copy from Blue Underground of their original release of The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I dug that, but it was 16, and that was my first time watching Phenomena. That's where it changed everything, and I was like, okay, however many fucking movies this guy's done, let me go down and just start watching them. And of course, that's how I got to Suspiria. I got to Opera. Fuck, man. The Cat of Nine Tails too, man. Out of all the Argento films I've pretty much seen, the Cat of Nine Tails is like that one movie that will fucking put me to sleep unless I'm just
Really
I gotta be in the mood
yeah.
for it. Like it's
it's more police procedural kind of deal in a way.
But of course, man, another one that really it was right around that same time. It was maybe like a year or two later. Blue Underground was doing that release where they put Romero's short film first, and then they did Argento's, which was Two Evil Eyes. Yeah, and I saw Argento's film on that shit, and I was like, "Fuck, man, Argento had a better film than Romero did on that motherfucker." And that's so I was like, "All right,
oh shit, we covered that last night on a
we just
channel.
covered that last night with Romero, with Alfred Romero on his channel, and I like the Romero story better. Believe it or not,
really?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Dude, but Harvey Keitel's performance, though, man, is fucking top tier for that fucking segment.
Over the top, like crazy. Like,
it is.
I don't know. The lead actress killed it for me in that segment. I don't know. I didn't like that lead actress. Whatever it is.
Yeah. But yeah, Darren, like it was 2016, man, when I kind of pulled back the cover on that to see what at that time. I just feel like anybody at that time was just biting on everything that was giallo at that time. And it just it's been that way for a couple of years. Shit, man, I remember whenever the 4K announcements for like Tenebrae and all that stuff we got a couple years ago. Like, don't get me wrong, I was right there to the first to get it too, but I was just surprised to see how many other people was like, hey, like this is the release of the year, blah, 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 and all that shit. I was just surprised how much love that Argento got just in that genre. And that's when I kind of pulled back the covers on it. But I went to other stuff too. Of course, I had to go check out Torso because I heard so many great things about that.
Yeah.
Fucking fell in love with that shit. And before I knew it, I was chasing Italian cinema directors. And of course, all of a sudden I met Dirk, and then that shit right there was just like full blown. After that, Dirk was like, no. You got to see whatever happened to Solange. And I'm like, I've never even fucking heard of that movie before. Yeah. Came one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Don't Duckling, which was Fulci's film. Got to check that out for the first time. That was fucking wild.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, there was.
Let me hit this real quick. I'm gonna just hit this real quick, y'all.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
Hell yeah, man.
You had to throw it in there.
So you've got to get in. So have you seen any early Sergio Martino films?
Absolutely.
You've seen the case of not Case of Billy Iris, Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. Your Vice is a Locked Room.
Yeah, that's my favorite giallo period. Is Your Vice is a Locked Room and only I have the key.
Yeah, I think Dirk will probably know this better than I do, but I think I just bought a box set not too long ago. I was asking him about it. I found a good deal on it. He was like, "No, you'll love that." I'm just trying to think of what it was. Give me 1 second.
Probably the Black Cat box set that you got. Yeah, he did. I remember you sent that to me because that's got Fulci's Black Cat in it, right?
Yeah.
And Martino's Black Cat in it, which those two are better than Argento's Black Cat, I think. But
this one?
Oh no, okay.
No, that's a Colai.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I think it was this one was the last one. I think I sent you a picture of him black because I think I scored this on. I got this on eBay for like $18, and it's the limited edition version. I was like, I'll take it.
Deal. Damn good deal.
That is
cool.
Great set as well.
We covered those too.
Those
really
two
good
films
set.
I love, man.
Yeah, man.
But no, there's a few you need to like. Suspicious Death of a Minor is another good one, I think, for Martino. 75. Right. I think that's maybe in one of the American sets from Arrow. I'm not sure. But yeah, man, all you got to do is hit me and Dirk up, like, if you want to know some more Giallo titles, and we'll put you in the right direction, man.
Well, Dirk's like schooled me since day one since I met him. He was like, man, like, I know you like all the 80s horror stuff, man, like the Blob and all that shit, man, but I'm trying to find something else a little bit different. And Dirk
fucking schools me as well, man. We both kind of feed off each other.
Shit, I don't know, Darren. You like, there's not a title that you don't know about. I know that.
No, but you know more. But I think about Bava and all that than me.
Yeah,
Mario Bava.
Bava's like the man. So,
yeah. But my bad for going off into a tangent.
No, it's great, man. I'm sure. I'm sure I'm probably just one of the many, especially when it comes to physical media collecting or any of that shit. I'm probably one of just the majority where everybody like showed up to the game and they're like, I've never even seen this dude's movies before. Let me check them out. And that's how they got introduced, was just buying like a random title from a boutique label who was just celebrating it, putting it out at anniversary or first time to Blu-ray 4K kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm sure
it was first to me. Then, you know, like you was probably like, man, fuck that shit. Like I was in the theater watching this shit when it came out.
I wish.
Well, a lot of this stuff wasn't readily available, you know, for the U.S. anyway. Or
we did have Anchor Bay, which was like, if you missed those though back in the day, man, like some of those DVDs were hard to get from Anchor Bay, but
in the UK, I don't know the experience over there for you, Darren, but like I'm sure that y'all probably had a little better access than we did.
I mean, I didn't see a lot of these till fairly later on in life, to be honest. Like Tenebrae, Suspiria, you're talking maybe 20 years ago. I know it seems a long time now, but I didn't really see. I did get to see Demons in my youth. That was a big favorite of mine. I rented that. I think I like used the 2 VCRs, copied it, and played it fucking one summer or every day. So I was like I knew the name Argento. First time I saw Tenebrae, it was like in a cut version called Insane, I think it's called.
Yep.
And I was kind of disappointed. Cut. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But with the advent of especially Blu-ray has brought on Giallo in such a way now. Even DVD, you know, was a vast improvement, obviously, but like Blu-ray, it makes those colors pop. And 4K is even better, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
So now I think that's why everyone's kind of getting into these films. But I love to see Johnnie, man. He's so like enthusiastic, and that's why I like to see someone getting into this genre.
Yeah, man.
And that enthusiasm and all that, because I remember I had that. I still got it, you know. For these films
all the time, man. We're pulling out these releases like the Quiet Place in the Country we covered not too long ago. It's amazing.
Another banger.
Yeah. You know, it kind of relates to what we're talking about with this series, but you know, it seems like every boutique label that's come around and has put out an Argento film, whether it was like, you know, first time to Blu-ray or God forbid if it was first time to 4K, it's always seemed like, I could be wrong on this, but it's always seemed like whenever it comes to the presentation of like a brand new 4K, that boutique labels are like very squeamish when it comes to Argento, because they're like, hey, it all has to be just right, or people are going to figure this out really fucking quick. Unfortunately, Severin, of course, they fucked up with Opera, and they fixed it pretty quick. But the bad thing about this thing is I believe that just because they put this out at the exact same time and not even mentioned in the same bundle, I think this kind of overshadowed this in a way.
Yeah. I think so.
Did this one first or you know, whichever. Just put them.
But I think
it would have popped a little bit more. You know what I mean?
I think so.
It's not overshadowed though.
But that does kind of show you, like Gregory, though. That's like he's really given giving somebody a lot in that bundle, you know, like
A lot.
So because he could have chose to wait and release that at a different date, you know, and but yeah,
I still think that
I do agree with it though. I know.
That opera release is probably one of the best of the last fucking 10, 15 years I can remember.
Dude,
I mean,
that
that
4K
takes
is
pride
fucking
of place.
great, man. Oh,
Like so,
We covered that, right? When it first came out, I've done everything. I've done all the commentaries, every single thing on that fucking set. It took me a week. And
yeah,
I still got notes.
It's
I
a
still
ton of shit
got
on there.
notes on it. It's fucking great.
a
That's my
little
favorite Giallo film.
A little side note. So during that same podcast I was telling you about when David Gregory was going over what they had to do to get all this shit for Deep Cuts. So of course he saved opera for last, and he was like, "Look, he was like, when we drop this, we're not gonna, we're not gonna ask an arm and a leg for it. We're gonna ask $60 retail for it. It is a 5-disc set. We were about to turn it into a 6-disc set. However, thanks to our team, we compiled everything that we needed for this set into 5 discs, so it'll be $60." It fucking comes out, and a few weeks later, they're like, "Here's the 6th disc, which is the corrected disc." And it's you still made it a fucking 6-disc set.
That's fucking ironic as well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I include that in my set.
This release here, that's the German play on.
Dirk tortures me every time he fucking shows up.
I mean,
I need that.
It's a badass release though, man. It's. I've showed it before, but I'm not gonna go into it. But
I mean,
that's just wicked.
That's going to be worth some money in time if it's not already, to be fair.
This is before this came out, though, and I had to double dip on opera. I mean, just got to, right? So.
Opera's just gone from fucking... I really like that film, but it's gone to my number one now. Fucking Giallo of all time.
Yeah.
And you can see when we did that opera show back a while ago, I was fucking pumped, man.
Yeah, we had the
He's falling on our cylinders. He's like, "Fuck yeah!"
We had this shit going on the whole time. Like, hold on, let me show you. We had this shit going on the whole time. You'll see the background.
Yeah. The fucking
like
crow's eye,
bird eye.
Yeah. Hey, what's great is in that special feature right there for disc 1 on Deep Cuts right there. Argento himself is sitting there saying that he took a good old rule from Hitchcock's playbook. Because he'd heard some bullshit back in the day that Hitchcock definitely used a few mechanical crows to make the birds.
Right.
But then he come to later find out that Alfred Hitchcock didn't do shit. He used everything real, and he was like, so when he made opera, he was like, "Fuck that." He's like, "No fake shit. Like I want all real crows," and that's exactly what he stuck to. So, fucking kudos to him for that. They look great too.
Logistical nightmare to get that scene at the end as well.
Right.
I mean, the way they floated the camera on the wires too, to kind of make you think it's the POV of the crow that's going across that big ass church and all that opera stadium and all that shit.
One of the best shots you'll ever see in it. Yeah.
In 4K, man, that Severin fucking knocked that out.
And that whole crane revolving thing, whatever that is, it's going up and down. That's insanity. What's going on, Wild man? He's
Wild Wrangler.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. But yeah, man.
But you're talking about that crane shot as well. You got the shot in Suspiria as well, where he puts the camera on fucking 2 wires and it comes down with the blind man with the dog
on the still wire.
Yeah. That's fucking. No one can do that. Like
with the stalking in flight scene. I call it.
It's kind of supposed to be this presence like coming down on him. Mm-hmm. It's fucking. But then again, you see I think Dirk said you see like a witch, like the shadow of a witch on a boom.
You see a witch shadow on the other building. If you pay attention next time you watch Suspiria, you'll see shadows of witches flying on brooms. At least
which
one.
is insane.
And I noticed it, and I'd seen Suspiria so many times, but I noticed it like I don't know what time I had seen it when I finally noticed that part where you see that shadow on that building, and it's a witch.
It's such a side tangent. I hate to do this, but once upon a time in Hollywood, when that movie came out, and of course we get to see from the front door Leonardo DiCaprio's house, and then it floats into his backyard at the pool, and then his neighbor's the Polanski. Everybody was like, "Oh, what a great transition shot!" And I'm just like, "You ain't never seen Tenebrae? Argento did that shit like 40 years ago."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's
Argento.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Respectfully, Argento went from out the window and then around the other side of the same building, just on the opposite side. a fade in camera, and it's like, no, like it's already been done.
with the crane, and I think it's called a Luma. Is that right?
Luma crane, yeah, French crane.
Yeah, a Luma crane, and then it had like scaffolding set up to go all the way around and go through the windows. That's such a badass scene.
It's great to see Argento too. He's like outside. He's on the edge of a rooftop, and of course he's got his crane operators right there to float that camera around to the other side of the building. He's just losing his shit. He's just like,
yeah.
We got Steven here. He says, "Hi guys, first time commenting, long time viewer. You guys are talking about my favorite type of film. Well, awesome, man.
Good, you're in the right place, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Right place.
Joining the chat, man. Checking us out.
A lot of side tangents, but that's my fault. I'll take full responsibility for that tonight.
No, man. Like I say, go with the flow, man. Like,
man.
We're open to talk about anything.
It's open floor, dude. And I mean, like these episodes are an hour long, so yeah, everything Argento, man. We could, I mean, and then we were talking. We had mentioned doing this once a month, but now if schedules line up, like we could probably go ahead and just bang this out, right?
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah. I know we have got Umberto Lenzi in 2 weeks, which we got with Kenny.
Right.
But I mean, we could do it the week after, and then we could finish it off the week after that, like 2 weeks in a row or whatever.
But next week, definitely, right?
Yeah, next week, definitely. Yeah.
For sure.
There's only 2 episodes on that next disc, and then just the special features is on it. It's where disc 3 comes into play, where you got the 15 shorts.
Yeah.
Then that long, it's like I think it's like a 108-minute documentary on that the Argento documentary, and then disc 4 has another 9 short segments in there. Disc 3 was what was that? Night Shift?
Yeah.
And then of course the 4th disc is like Argento's Nightmares, and that's the 9 segments of that. So it's just however you guys want to bust that one up, or whether you just want to do disc 3 and 4 all together for that next episode. But
we could probably do that. Maybe
this 2 is literally just 2 episodes again, and that's it. It's 2 hours worth of material, then the special features, and that's fucking doable,
we'll
man.
Work it out. Yeah, we'll work it out.
Soul says another podcast to thumb. I appreciate you. Yeah,
cheers, man.
You got Gore Guts saying, "Hey, hell, Dario." Yeah, man. Yeah,
the master,
the maestro.
Well, we know the master, but you know.
I mean, like we're gonna talk about this episode now, the tram, but after that, because when we talk about the documentary, we can go through some of his other films, what Johnny's seen and what he hasn't, and we can talk all Argento literally coming up.
Definitely.
But yeah, so what's your early thoughts on this one? I know we're gonna go through the plot and that. Would you say this is back? Because I think Johnny said he prefers The Neighbor, or at least your wife did.
Yeah.
Do you like this one?
Definitely, man. It's great. I think, I mean, honestly, if disc 2 holds up as well as the 2 episodes on that, as we just went through the 2 episodes on disc 1 right here, then this was like worth every penny plus more. But yeah, man, both episodes, man. You start with The Neighbor, which is Kazi, but of course we go straight into the Argento alias, man.
Yep.
If I had to take my pick, man, like personally, like I said, man, I think it's going to be for me, man, the fact that you already got your sights set on the killer being the ticket collector, and that Sidewinder comes in, which I was not even fucking thinking of, to be honest with you. But then the crazy guy, too, who confesses to the murder, who never even did it. Like, that shit sold it for me, man. Like, this was, I would take the tram over The Neighbor. I'd have to do it.
Me too. I'm the same.
Yeah. I didn't think that going back a couple of years ago when I first watched it, but this time round, I would say I slightly prefer this one. Because we didn't give our rating for the Neighbor. I give the Neighbor 6 out of 10. I
give it a 6 out of 10 for sure.
Okay.
But it's on the tram, man. It's got that Argento trope. So there's something that the lead character is not. He's almost he's damn near got it figured out, but he's missing something, right? He's got to remember something, just like in so many other Argento films. And he's always
doing this the whole fucking time.
Snapping his damn finger. That's like his thought process, I guess. And but this is a solid one, I would say.
I think so, yeah. And you got the opening shot as well, where this guy's literally cleaning this tram. And he comes across this kind of dead body of a woman again.
And that's a precursor to Sleepless. You'll see.
Yeah.
Something similar in Sleepless happens at the very beginning, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like the police inspector, then he comes in and he realizes that, you know, this was on like a crowded tram late at night. You know, someone would have seen something. Someone kind of, even if they don't know, you know, they kind of got the answer to this puzzle. So he brings them all back. You know, you got all these different suspects. Like Johnny said, you got that one crazy guy even confesses.
Yeah.
But you've got kind of different red herrings. The ticket guy, you know, you've got the married guy who works.
I'm sorry, Darren. I got to do it.
Mother, this cloth smells of death.
I'm glad you did that then, because I was about to go into some spoilers.
Look, man, Darren, he's purposely being obnoxious with that shit now, man.
No, I just know people are coming in
a bit
and out.
Indulgent with it. But no, I was about to go. Right? Yeah, I was about to go into some spoilers.
Stop it.
But yeah, this is a great episode. You know, you've got all the kind of they try to work it out where they try to recreate this tram ride, and that kind of doesn't go to plan.
That shit reminded me of that film we saw. Was it last year? Closed Circuit.
It does. Well, it's got the woman in it, same woman as well, the old woman with the glasses. Yeah, she's in Closed Circuit. So
she's been in a couple other things though. I couldn't place it.
Yeah. The Case of the Bloody Iris is the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah.
She plays a really prominent part, but she lived well into her 80s, I think. She must have been 70s or something in this, you know.
I would imagine.
But like you say, all the cast are like a lot of them are Dario Argento regulars. I think the cast in this is great. The lead guy who plays Giordani, what a talent he was, you know, died at 53. I think he could have gone on and become, you know, really massive.
And this is the only Argento where the lead is a cop as well.
Yeah, this was the first one I think that he did.
That's the only one too, right? I can't think of another one.
He kind of like, don't focus completely on that, but in a way, like even Bird with the Crystal Plumage, you've got the one cop guy, but it's not centered around him like it is in this.
He's not the lead though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and you've got the introduction as well where Dario's introducing the film, and this guy's really cool, just walks from the background with a cigarette.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking great. That was a nice touch.
It just comes into frame,
Yeah.
It's foreshadowing.
Right.
And they said that dude didn't really smoke too. Like he's just,
and you can tell because he doesn't inhale at one point. Yeah.
Did you guys notice too? Whenever they were like, doing the whole thing, being like, well, she worked night shift, but she always got off at 1 a.m. And I'm like, what fucking third shifter gets off at 1 a.m.? Like, that's just like the beginning of the shift.
Right, yeah, because it's usually 10 till 6 in the UK. Yeah, 6 till 2, 10 till 6.
It's kind of weird with that. I was asking my wife, I was like, where the fuck is this taking place at? Like, apparently they don't have the same concept of fucking night shift.
And I mean, trams, I didn't even know trams were going at fucking 1 a.m. Because certainly nothing like that in the UK at that time was... You know, our buses stop at like 11 or 12 or whatever, and that's it.
Right.
But yeah, like you say, I've warmed onto this one as this, you know, as the years have gone by, pretty much.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't. This one out of the two is more of a giallo, I would say.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely you got the black glove killer. You see the black glove. You see the boots. Like it's an odd one though because he's got combat boots. Like you don't see that every day.
Right? Oh, you see a great shot with the fucking killer when he's reflected in the tram.
Yeah,
like you can see the reflection of the killer, and obviously you see the boots and he's stalking his girlfriend Julia. Whom, man, he puts his girlfriend under some fucking crazy situation where she could get killed. Just to
set her up as bait purposely. Yeah. The bitch falls down 3 times running in a straight row. Like she fell 3 times.
Another time.
And that was realistic, wasn't it? Because that's probably what would happen in that situation, you know?
Yeah.
But she goes up the steps flawlessly.
They've set it up. Yeah. They've set it up for the audience to be screaming at the TV. That's what just kept going through my mind. Like,
absolutely.
Because I'm trying to do that. I'm damn near shouting at my TV. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Building suspense, man. That's Argento for you, though.
Yeah.
That scene where she's running away as well kind of reminds me of Bird with the Crystal Plumage or something like that.
Tenebrae too.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, with the girl running away from the dog. It's
Definitely.
kind of same shot.
And she's like she falls down so many times. You're like, oh,
I know.
Yeah. It is actually, thinking about it, the same shot in Tenebrae.
Yep.
I didn't even put that together. But yeah, last 20 minutes, man, is where it comes into like a real stalking slash kind of giallo.
And he's figured out who the killer is, but he don't tell her, and then he just leaves. And so we're like left with her, like the audience, and she don't know and we don't know. Like, you know.
And of course, the killer attacks him, doesn't he? And then you don't know if he's going to survive because he's thrown over this fucking wall, and you don't know.
I think it's a bridge. Like he just killed it.
Yeah. So you've got the added twist of that. I mean, the reveal of the killer, we don't have to say who it is, but it's kind of an afterthought in a way. Things like that, I'm not particularly worried about. I'm not one of these types of, I've got to know like all the details and all that shit.
Right.
It's kind of vague. But in context for the actual episode, I think it works really well.
Definitely.
I think this will be most people's favorites, but I can't wait to see what you guys think of Eyewitness next week. Hopefully that you feel the same way as I do. But no, this was actually filmed first, I believe.
It was.
But they showed it second on TV.
It was Argento had his in the can, and he actually met the schedule of 12-day shoot.
Yeah.
And he's not used to doing that kind of shit. He's used to like just doing what he wants, you know, and has all the time he wanted, but
going over budget because his dad's the producer.
He had to stick to the 12-day shit, and he did. But
there was an issue on Eyewitness with the director going over, and he had a few problems with that. But it doesn't show it to me. It doesn't show in the episode. The episode's great. Mm-hmm. So that was the only issue. I think the other 3 episodes, everything went like smoothly enough.
Let me catch the chat right quick, Darren.
Man. Yeah.
Just remember where you're at right quick.
I mean, we pretty much come to the end anyway. That.
Okay. Soul says, house less is another parking lot to another man of another family or country with another protection dog.
Okay.
And Wild Wrangler says, bought issue 1 of Army of Darkness versus Reanimator comic book. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Synth says the Birds did have synthetic bird sounds on the soundtracks. Sound design by Bernard Herrmann with the mixture Trautonium synth. 1 bird at a time. Damn. Okay.
I'm ashamed to say I've still not seen the Birds.
Man, dude.
I know.
Damn.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on a shit. Hold on, damn man.
Hold on, man. Whoa.
Honestly, man, I'm like, yeah. I've seen a lot of Hitchcock's films as well, but the Birds have always like.
Yeah, man. You got to see the Birds.
I watching the documentary on the end of this, and like Johnny said, and they mentioned the Birds, and I'm like,
you got to think. You got to think I mean, when we covered opera, I told you, like, when covering opera, I mean, that's what inspired him to make opera.
Right. Yeah.
So you got to see the Birds, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure we're gonna do another Hitchcock show anyway at some point.
Yeah. So definitely.
We'll throw that in there. Yeah.
You'll definitely love it, man. Especially whenever the mayhem comes apart, man. They all take refuge in that diner, Darren. You'll fucking love every bit of that dialogue in there, man.
Okay.
Like they're in a spot where the world's coming to an end, and they're just like accusing one person of the whole thing falling apart, and it's like, goddamn, like
everybody
emotion
at each other's throats, kind of.
Yep.
It's really damn intense. It's pretty damn good, man.
I'm excited to see it.
And it still fucks with me today when I see like a murder of crows or something. Like when I see a shit ton of birds anywhere, I think of the Birds like every fucking time. Like it stays with me, like to this day. You know, like
I think it's for especially, man, for anybody watching it for the first time, man, because especially with Hitchcock, man, like he was known to even admit to it. He'd say like, "Fuck this." He's like, "I'm here to entertain my audience, but I also want to fucking put them in a chokehold too for a duration of time." The Birds, man, will definitely set you up for that feeling too, because the first 20 minutes you're like, okay, like guy meets girl and it gets really slow, and then all of a sudden, like the shit just falls apart, and it's just Hitchcock sitting there with his fucking arm around your throat, being like, "Look at this shit,"
and you don't know why. You don't know why.
Yep.
So, Steve Vincent Furnace says, I've never seen Sleepless. Is it worth seeking out? Oh, definitely.
Fucking hell, yes. Just
Yes,
for the
man.
train
Yeah.
scene at the beginning.
Yes.
That the first 20 minutes of Sleepless is as good as anything he's ever done, in my opinion.
Definitely. Man. Highly
And
recommend
the last part as well is not too shabby. I really like that one.
I love Sleepless. It's got Max von Sydow.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's
one of
damn
the
good.
great performances in an Argento film, that is.
Definitely, man. Definitely. You got something here. He says, oops, I typed Herman and mixture tritonium wrong. Too much of a hurry. Oh, it's all good, man.
That's okay, man. No worries.
Split shifts. I got you. Different than graveyard shifts. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so 1 a.m., yeah.
Birds was also cool for the use of diegetic music, no actual regular soundtrack score. It placed you in the scene with the characters, more claustrophobic. Yeah. And Hitchcock.
I'm gonna get on that.
Yeah, definitely. Sleepless soundtrack is good too. Definitely.
That's one of my favorite soundtracks. Opera and Sleepless are probably my two favorite. I know that's like sacrilege because it's Suspiria, Deep Red.
Deep Red's mine. I mean, it just is.
I mean, I even like Trauma. The soundtrack to Trauma, man. That fucking song, Ruby Rain, is superb. Which will come into some of the Argento films now, actually.
Yeah, man. What else did you want? Do you want to mention anything else about Il Tram? I did want to say,
give a rating and give you your final thoughts if you want, yeah.
Well, hold on. I did want to say there's a part where there's a guy that's getting accused, and he's saying he's innocent. He's innocent over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like echoing, but there's a part where it breaks the fourth wall, and he's like looking at the audience.
Yep.
Like he's calling the audience scum for like putting his ass away for 30 years or whatever. And then it pans right off of them, right onto the jury that he's looking at in the courtroom. I thought that shit was killer.
I tell you what, I thought was funny. Go on.
Sorry, it was the perfect setup too, because the detective was sitting there at the table with his partner and everything, and he was like, well, the tram company is pretty much telling us that the woman that's in question of, the murder that you probably murdered, she even already wrote like complaints about you harassing her several different times. And you're sitting there and you're like, this is the motherfucker who did
it.
Yeah. What's so funny about that scene is where, you got the court scene, he's put away for 30 years. And literally, I think on his fucking ride home, he's like saying the guys didn't do it. He's innocent. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, man. You just put this fucker away like for 30 years. And now
30 years.
Like within a matter of hours, you've worked out it's not him. How does that work,
dude?
Man?
Any other detective on that ride home would have been like, well, they just gave him 30 years. Case closed.
Yeah. This is a good guy.
Then, clear conscience and all that, yeah.
I know. I did see that. So Kazi and Argento was working on a. Before they did this, they were working on a Nazi Frankenstein film. And they tried to present it to fucking Hammer, but Hammer wanted no part of that shit because their Frankenstein films weren't doing too good at that time. So,
man, we were robbed of that. I think.
Yeah, Nazi Frankenstein. There, holy shit.
Yeah. Sign me up for that one, man.
Right. But yeah, man. I think I got. I mean, I don't really have much else to say about Il Tram. I'll say it's the better of the two.
I'd say it's a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
You got the black glove killer. There's a scene where you see the black glove on the steering wheel.
That's fucking great when he's following in the car.
Yeah, he's following the tram because they're trying to recreate the scene. And
like you said, the tropes are all in place, man. Like you can feel it. Like it's like, okay, I know exactly whose movie I'm watching here or television segment.
Right.
To be more.
And it's not Syria Bernadotte or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
that little eccentric, mysterious bastard.
Maybe he's just like trying to throw people off. Like, they're like, wait a minute, I thought this was Argento's,
I love his segments too. Whenever you're like either, of course, like for his introductions of the episodes. If you guys notice, like Darren was even saying, like our lead character detective kind of like comes out of the shadow behind him and just creeps in, which is a great little nod. I love the hell out of that because it reminds me of another thing with Alfred Hitchcock. He used to do the Hitchcock Presents television series. And that's how he would always do. Like, even if he didn't direct or nothing, he was always there to do the intro for that episode, and then they'd roll the episode. But yeah, I love the setup shots though. Like, they have Argento sitting in front of a bunch of film canisters that's all around him, or he's got the whole camera setup thing.
Yep.
And it's like you could definitely tell they were introducing him. Like, you've seen his movies before, you might as well put a face to these movies. So here he is. And just the fact that he used a different name for the very first episode he directed, which was, episode 2 here. But it's like, why the hell did he go with that alias, man? Like, that was a really damn good show. Like, I'd have definitely put my fucking name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
The only thing I can think of is maybe he didn't want to overshadow the other directors. Maybe that was kind of
I didn't even think of it.
I don't know.
Maybe so. But, I mean, his name's on it anyway. So, I don't know. Yeah.
You know, when he made that choice, though, he went straight to the accountant.
That's a good reason, though. That'd be a good reason.
When he done that shit, though, he went straight to the accountant. He's like, just so you know, even though I'm putting my name like this, you write that fucking check out as Dario Argento.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure, yeah. Absolutely.
See you later, Synth. Synth says you got to go. Good stuff. Need to catch up on Doors. Yeah, man.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
We'll go
hanging out, man. But yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, man, fucking the tram, definitely 9 out of 10 for me, man. I love the hell out of that thing, man.
Like, that's great. Yeah,
it was great, man. I love that shit too. As soon as he went from that whole thing, that recreation of that setup, when he was like, I'm sitting here watching it in the background too. Him doing that whole thing at the wrong time is just like, nah, man. Like, what the hell? Like, you try to get all the passengers to get back on the tram, but why did you do it at the right time? And then when he fucking did it, all of a sudden, like you just said, all the tropes were set in place. It's now nighttime. We've already got our glances. Not to mention that chase scene. It was like, fuck, man. Like, here we go. And we already saw the weapon that he was going to use get lifted right off the front of the tram. And it's just like, oh, shit. Like, we're locked in now. We're going for it.
Yeah, and you, like, I'm legit thinking that she's done, right? I legit thought that when I first seen that. I was like, holy shit. But, yeah, it's good shit, man. One thing I was seeing about, so I didn't realize that he did this, man. He planned everything out, Argento. Everything's on paper. Everything's in its place. So there's no room for improvisation from his actors. Like, they have to do exactly storyboard.
Verbatim.
Yep. So that's how he did every one of his films.
That's what caused issues, I think, with Tony Mazzanti in
Keitel, too, in the Two Evil Eyes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
he had everything storyboarded and what have you, but he was kind of hard to work for, like Argento. He just not as bad as Fulci, I don't think, but he would go off on one if he didn't like you as well as Fulci. Like, he'd be exactly the same. He kind of, he wouldn't hold back. But that's just Argento's personality. He's doing a lot of drugs as well while he was directing these films, I heard.
And most eccentric people are like that too, man. Like, that's their tick. Like, if you're not on the same page with them, like, no, you have to be on the same page. You got to be on the same sentence, the same word. If you go off of it, like, especially eccentric people, man, that's going to be, it's just too much chaos for them. But like you saying, like him being too rough, like, we all know, like, the trope of the black glove too. Like, when we see that, we already know all those stories. We're like, well, we know the black glove. That's Argento wearing that glove, and he's being rough with that bitch on purpose because he wants you to believe that shit's real, even though the actress is like, he's too rough.
Yeah.
Oh God, you see what he said in the documentary after this, right? He turns around, he says, and no word of a lie, Argento actually says this on camera. He says, "I got so good with the black gloves, I actually feel like I could become a fucking good murderer if I wanted."
He does. He says he could, like, he's an expert murderer.
Yeah, what a fucking line, man. Only
I was like,
could come out with that.
Okay. So yeah, I'd be pretty good at this shit, I've done so many films, playing this shit out. So I was like, damn. Okay.
I was surprised by the documentary, man. It was a lot better than I thought. I know,
it's damn good.
Like Johnny said, there's a lot that you know.
Right?
Yeah.
2 parts.
It's 2 hours, like an hour each part.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it, which no one's done, and I don't know why anyone has, if Severin are watching this, no one's done a Never Sleep Again type documentary on Argento. Why? You got 21 films, or even if you just want to count his 20 horror films, That would make a good like 4-5 hour documentary. I'm sure people would sign up for that tomorrow. Like,
I mean, this covers a lot of shit though.
This is good. This surprised me.
Yeah.
This surprised me a lot. Yeah, it goes through them one by one, which I like, but it only goes up until a certain point.
Exactly,
like
and then caps it.
Opera. Yeah, where it was being, but they kind of tack on like Sleepless and I think
at the very
end, Stendhal and
Card Player.
Trauma.
It's very brief, which
literally
rightly so for Card Player. Let's be honest.
Darren, that is a really good point, man. Like you said that, but keep in mind though, man, like the Never Sleep Again stuff. Of course, that for what they've done so far with the 2 that they've actually done, they tackle just a franchise with the same killer and whether it's fucking Jason or Freddy. But it would be cool to see it in that sense of them just breaking down, being like, fuck that, like our spotlight is Argento. Here's his body of work, and they go through it one by one, just like they do for whether it's Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. That'd be fucking great, man. I know we don't fucking sign up to buy that shit quick.
Do it for Fulci as well and Baba. I mean, they could pump those out.
The only
each one of those were like 12 hours. They were like 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah,
like,
8 hours, I think. 9 hours.
Fuck, it was long, man. Yeah.
You'd have to watch it in a week. The only problem possibly with the Argento one would be there are people still alive in his films and Fulci's films, but they are getting up in age, so it would be kind of harder a little bit. But I'm sure they could do it. They could do it. They've got the contacts, Eugenio Ercolani, they could get hold of him. He knows every single kind of director in Italy at the time, so like present day. So I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Really.
You remember the scene where, like, just think if Argento was to do like a Never Sleep Again. Do you guys remember, like, as the credits are rolling and they're putting those little tiny inserts in for Panico, and Argento's like, "No, man, we've already been going for like 2 hours," and the producer's like, "We've only been going for like 20 minutes." He's like, "No, it's been 2 hours."
Yeah. Right. And you could tell in that documentary as well where he's kind of like loses his temper on a few things, doesn't he? I don't know if that's age as well comes into it, but
we got Alfa Romero in here. He says, "Do you guys think that Argento's reputation as being the Italian Hitchcock is a fair comparison?" I think so.
Yeah.
I know he didn't really want to be like kind of put in that title. I know Argento wasn't comfortable with it, but
exactly, who wants to ride somebody else's coattails? Like he's his own, he's his own entity.
But Hitchcock was a huge influence, so just so people would know what they're kind of getting into. But
we see it as a compliment, don't we? We see it as a compliment.
I think
maybe
Argento
is kind
but
of,
maybe Argento didn't.
Yeah.
I get that.
No, but he's perfect. He's perfect.
I guarantee you, like, if somebody walked up to him and be like, "Hey, are you okay if we call you Hitchcock number 2?" He'd be like, "Man, fuck no."
Yeah, right. That'd be like Bava getting called Freda,
Oh.
He'd be like, "No, hell no." So, yeah. You got a point. Got a good point. Yeah.
Or fucking Lenzi being called Fulci or whatever, like
right.
Whatever Italian title director in that part, like,
or Suave be calling Argento 2, or
oh shit, yeah.
The sad thing is we all know that the studios these guys work for, that's exactly how they looked at them. They just lumped them in a big pile and was like, okay, well, they're probably going to deliver us a product somewhat similar to this guys. So, but like, what was that? Argento went to go try to turn in Inferno to 20th Century Fox, and they're like, our American audience is not going to know what the fuck this movie is. Like, we're not going to buy this movie. And he's just like, I made it pretty plain and simple. Like, what the fuck is there not to understand?
Didn't they say to him, it don't make sense? But it
don't make sense.
But who gives a fuck in an Argento film? Like, right. I don't care if it makes sense. I said that earlier.
To be fair, Inferno is one hell of a fever dream. If you... there's a lot of shit going on in Inferno.
I love Inferno, man.
And it feels personal.
And he mentioned very personal about Inferno, like it was more to do because Suspiria is more about witchcraft, right? Inferno is more about alchemy and esoteric riddles and secrets, and you know what I mean. And a lot of people don't pick. Like a lot of people shit on the end. I know that, but.
I don't see that myself, but
Bava did a lot of the effects, the special effects, and he used crystals in the lenses and shit. Like he did a lot of personal shit. Mario Bava himself was on that.
Like a a bizarre thing to think about too is I was listening to Argento say that he got his idea to do Suspiria at the time because he went to Switzerland to have some stomach issues that he was having. They were doing exams on him, and he said that while he was there, he was trying to take in the culture, and what he realized was while he was there is that most of the territory of the world hadn't really locked into doing witch movies yet, which of course 20 years later fucking went through the roof and blew up.
Right.
But he was one of the first ones on the scene to be like, hey, you want to see some gnarly shit, how deep witchcraft and how bizarre it can go? And he was the first one there. And he was in Switzerland of all fucking places, right? It's like you would think he'd have been in Rome or somewhere else, but fucking Transylvania for all we know. But
right.
I mean, Switzerland? But yeah.
With Switzerland, it was like he wanted to know what was going on in the fucking, what was hidden in those mountains.
Behind the mountains and the blue rocks and the snow, right?
And the snow and all that.
These nice little cabins or homes. These, I forget what he called them.
In comparison, we've heard another director almost say that same exact story. John Carpenter, when he was married to Deborah Hill, they went on vacation, and of course they were at sea. They saw the fog roll in. Guess what came out of that? They were both sitting there being like, I wonder what's out there. What's hiding in that fog? Became a fucking movie.
The unknown, man, is always effective. Hold on.
And I know Carpenter was a big fan of Argento as well. And he's gone on record to say that, you know, and they almost come close to like working together a couple of points as well. But
I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in here, y'all.
Sicilian thing that's been going on for 2,000 years.
What the fuck? Oh, that was great.
All right. Yeah.
Michael Corleone must have slapped that bitch like 8 times now in just like 3 seconds.
Right. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention, man. So y'all, if y'all haven't checked it out, man, we was on Alpha Romero's channel last night, and we covered the collaborations between Argento and George Romero. So y'all check that out, man. That was a good stream we had last night. So
yeah, I mean, don't like, you know, once you realize we don't like Dawn of the Dead, don't hold it against us type thing. But yeah, I love doing that show. Actually, I said to Alpha, like, I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And Wild Rango says y'all are great at film info on Giallo. I appreciate it, man.
Oh,
we're learning all the time, though, man.
You got the 2 encyclopedias up there. Jesus Christ, those guys are endless knowledge.
I mean, you're coming out with some good stuff as well, man, Johnny.
Like, it's just all the shit that we digging through these special features on. It's like, well, I paid the full price for this disc. I'm watching every fucking thing on it.
That's what I told Darren. I was like, we got to get Johnny be perfect for this shit, you know, because Johnny's gonna watch everything on
got
a
to,
release.
man.
Yeah,
you got
everything
to
on these discs.
You know, the only thing about this is I just didn't get to part 2 of the documentary that's on disc 1 of this. I did watch the first one, and I kind of realized like really quick, I'm like I got to see the behind the scenes stuff of them like building their sets, which was great. That was the first time for me for most of that. But like, you know, where Argento was at that moment in time, or his relationship and all that stuff, we kind of already done either read, dug through, saw something else that was pretty much close and spot on. So, but I mean, for anybody who's like brand new to Argento, that shit's a wet dream right there. It's like, that's definitely a look into the maestro craft and his work for sure.
Yeah. And I know it might seem a little pricey for this release, man, but the shit you're getting, and we're just on disc 1. Like I said, 5 hours worth of shit just on disc 1. So,
yeah,
I mean, Alpha says, Wild Wrangler says, how old is Argento? Ain't he 83? Is that right?
He's around that, man. I would say 85, but maybe I might be wrong. It's around about there, 83, 84, 85, something like that.
He's still very competent with a translator. That's for sure. Like, according to Panico, like he had a translator sitting next to him the whole time, which was fucking great. But I mean, he's getting up there in age though. Like, if we're gonna get something, we need to get it now. Like, let's don't wait another 10 years. You've got to see Dark Glasses, Johnny. You've got to see that. I think that's a good fucking way.
Definitely.
I hope that's not the way he goes out, because I do want another one. But man, that had no right to be as good as it is.
Alpha says, "Hey, if anybody would hold that against you, it'd be me." Yeah.
I know.
And he says, but I don't. And that just goes to show how cool you guys are. Had a blast. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Man. Yeah.
Anytime, man.
Anytime. I'd love to do that again. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do some more stuff for sure. But yeah, this is, man, what I like about this documentary though is it's Argento that's talking. Like, so this is not just people that found out or rumors. This is coming out of the horse's mouth. Most of all the information.
No hearsay shit. It's right there on set with him.
Yeah, I really dig that shit.
Yeah, man.
And he's very mysterious. He's got like that mysterious role to him, right? He's real dark, kind of somber. Tries to, I don't know. It's like a facade. I don't know, but like, because he's like, at one point he's like saying, people ask me all the time, why do I make these haunting, brutal films? Yeah. And I ask myself this question all the time, and I travel through my imagination, through my nightmares, and it frightens me first, like, so it's like that way of talking. It's like real cryptic kind of, I don't know.
You guys saw the same clip though that I saw. You remember the reporter? I'm sorry, the interviewer that was interviewing. For some reason, they're in the middle of an interview and they're like, "Hey, Dario, can you do us a favor? Can you just empty out your pockets so we can see what's in them?" And he's like pulling out random shit out of his pockets, and you're like, "Why the fuck would anybody be straight rabbit foot shit?" Yeah, he's like an old movie ticket from like 3 weeks ago or some shit. Yeah, like, dude, like he's just an ordinary guy. He's just eccentric, and he's probably one of those people. Like, he probably lives just like he writes. He likes to be someplace in solitude by himself. He doesn't like interference from the outside world.
Right.
They were even asking him too, like, what's your biggest thing that interferes with you on your day-to-day basis? And the first thing he does is pulls his fucking phone out of his pocket. And it's like, like, there you go.
He actually says in the documentary as well that films and all that he would have ended up in prison or something dark would have happened. He would have ended
been
up
a hobo. Right.
Hobo.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. But in that documentary, he pulls out like sweets as well, doesn't he? He's got in his pocket and fucking, like, Panico. I'd love to get that actually on proper Blu-ray. Didn't you say it's in the UK? It's out in the UK?
No, I think that's a Germany release, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was going to be an RLJE because Shudder had the exclusive to it. So I was like, okay, well, RLJE is definitely going to roll that out. They didn't. It's like it's definitely a Germany release. I think they released it in just a typical clamshell Blu-ray case, and then, if I'm not mistaken, I could have swore there was a media book of it somewhere. So
okay, yeah,
definitely look. I was finding like stock photos on eBay. So who knows if that fucking media book's real, like a padded media book, I guess you want to call it. Who knows if that's actually real? But come on, man, like that's Argento's documentary. Like we deserve that everywhere in every territory. Like give it to us. I'll buy it. I'll love the fuck out of that thing.
If you ever want to see like all the background shots, things that you've never seen before on all these films, like I'm not going to say every film, but I mean, it shows a lot of shit I've never seen before. I mean, I don't know, Darren.
I was surprised at the stuff that I like you say, never been. I don't think it's ever been shown. I've even not even like maybe on YouTube if you really look, you can dig out some of it, but not all these clips. I'm like, so Phantom of the Opera, we see like Dario Argento, all the like the way they filmed that and when she was singing, and man, I love all that shit.
In Phenomena, when they're in the pit with the human remains, and they say human remains, and you're like, "Was that
is real?
Or is that fake?" And then they're talking about they put yogurt in there, and like the whole nerdy behind the scene shit. What I'm all about it, I gotta check it out. So
she was having a blast. It looks like when they were filming that, Jennifer Connelly, because he's laughing all the way through. But in terms of Phenomena, I know Johnny's a big fan of Phenomena. We've never covered it. I'd love to do a one-off, and if Johnny would be up for that.
Yeah,
dude, fuck that's number one for me.
We'd walk right through the whole fucking film, background, everything. Like, so
we'll even if you want to, we could break down the Phenomena and the Creepers cut, the differential of that shit. So
definitely,
I think Creepers even holds its own little special thing with me, but I'm one of those fucking weirdos who's like, you gotta have both cuts. Fuck it.
Oh fuck, man, we'd be doing it all. We'd literally be doing everything on that set,
That's the shit.
But what I like about this as well, so it shows you got footage of Claudio Simonetti, you got Luigi Cozzi, Pino Donaggio. I've never fucking seen Pino Donaggio's face before this, I don't think.
Okay.
So I was like, who the fuck's that? I was surprised. and he like come on board a bit later on, didn't he, with some of Dario's films? Like he did pretty much his 90s films, Trauma being the big one. But just seeing putting a
You see
face to that
Savini
name
in here too?
with a ponytail.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
me,
Savini
man.
with a ponytail, holding a damn head. He's working on a head from Two Evil Eyes.
Two Evil Eyes, yeah, the cat, like the fucking cat from Two Evil Eyes. Yeah, that was cool. I've never seen that footage before either.
Right, there's tons of shit like that on this, man.
And it's 2 hours long, man. So you know, it doesn't feel like that. I don't know. I just feel they could upgrade this and do a more modern version of it. Even if they did do like 2 hours. I know I mentioned a longer one.
Sit down with Argento now, right?
Yeah, while he's still alive.
Right.
Pretty much like I know Panico we kind of touched, and he did do kind of interviews for that.
Yeah.
But we didn't go in depth with that too much.
And that'd be great if they could get Martino like that. Do something like that with Martino.
Sergio.
Yeah. And Dario was pretty much in England like 2 weeks ago with his daughter Fiore. Because I got him on Instagram and I was seeing all the pictures. He was up in this London Grosvenor hotel, like one of the poshest hotels in London. So he's active, you know, he's moving. Do you know what I mean? So let's get him while we can, like, because,
man,
you know, God forbid, like, he's my favorite director by a fucking country mile. And anything happens to Dario, man, I'm going to be gutted. But, you know, you got to be prepared. He's 85 or whatever it is. But
yeah, do it now as opposed to later, because I mean, tomorrow's not promised, right? I mean, the guy's not getting younger, so
exactly.
And then
Martino's another one.
It goes into it starts explaining toward the end of this though, of the My Cinema Part 1, where Enzo Tortora asked Dario to collaborate on his TV show Giallo.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so Dario's idea was a series of mini films, shorts, 10 to 15 minutes long, and it shows you a little sample of one of them. And that shit, I gotta say, that was pretty good, man.
Oh, the Christmas one, yeah?
Yeah, it shows a little girl. So the premise is this: there's a little girl who's left at home. She's little, but she's not that little. She's like 10, 11, maybe 12.
Yeah.
And she's anticipating, so she's wandering around the house and shit. And then she hears something, and she sees something under the door, right? So then she goes in her room, freaking out, and then the door's slowly creeping. And it's fucking Santa Claus, right? And what did she say? You remember what she said?
Say? No, I can't remember what she said.
She says,
it's you, Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's just you, Santa Claus. And then Santa Claus pulls his mask off, and it's like this creature-looking thing. Like, I was like, holy shit, what the hell is that, man? So I got to check.
I mean, a lot of them are like that. You know, the episode. I've only seen 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're not going to get anything groundbreaking or anything, but they're fun, like you say. Dario Argento actually stars in one with Argento's girlfriend at the time, which would have been awkward considering, like, it's split from Nickelodeon, because she's in it. She's in a couple of them, I think, or at least one of them.
Okay.
But she's actually in that episode, I think, right? So you've got Dario Nickelodeon, Asia Argento, and Argento's girlfriend all in the same fucking episode in one. So yeah, awkward.
Right.
But that happened in opera as well, because she's in opera as well, his girlfriend, and then you've got the whole thing with Dario Nickelodeon wanted to fucking take her head off in real life, apparently.
So is that's different? That's different than the I think it's called Glee Incubi, the Dario Argento series.
So yeah, so there's one called Night Shift, and there's another one called the Giallo TV series, which is more of like it's just random shit from what I heard. Not so much the shorts. It's some shorts.
There's really no conclusions to it, is what he said, right? Yeah. Like he purposely intentionally made the episodes where there's really no conclusion, no reveal of a killer. No, basically.
It gives. So I did hear that, but then I heard also. So it stops, and then it lets the audience kind of figure it out, and then it reveals it after a period of time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are. I guess I'm assuming they're going to all be mysteries, but they're not all Giallo, right? Or are they?
I think they are. I've not seen all of them. I think they've all got Giallo elements, and they've all got that, like you say, that killer we don't know until the end.
Right. They all got a killer, yeah, for sure.
But I'm like, I'm pretty much going to be like you guys when we jump into them. I don't know too much at the moment, but
that's good to know. That's
yeah. I'm excited to watch. I've been holding off this set for a long time, man.
Right.
And just because we've got so much shit coming on every week, and then we thought we've got to make some time for this.
Right.
And then Dirk mentioned Johnnie, and I'm like, shit, is he an Argento fan? And I can just see like your pure passion for him now, like, so it's all fucking good, man. So worked out.
And Alpha says, could you imagine what Dario could charge if he did a con appearance in the U.S. right now? Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
It's a lot. It's a whole
He's
lot.
pulled out of doing that a couple of times because he's literally got like signed up, and apparently he's pulled out the last minute on at least 2 occasions. Because I remember Dana saying, I think CK Uncle Bill mentioned something like that on DEADPIT. He's pretty much in the UK all the time, but I've never got to meet him. I'm definitely going to try. There's one coming up in the summer, and I think it's going to have Lamberto Bava.
Well, you got to go.
Well, it's like I don't drive, but it's like about an hour away. And I'd rather have someone to go with, but I've only got one friend that lives that I know into fucking these films, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go on my own.
Okay. I used to go all the time. The Texas Fright Night, bro, myself. Like my wife and kid didn't want to go, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go. But
can y'all imagine him in that setting though? Like that would I don't know, his personality and the way he is. It's hard to imagine fucking Argento sitting there with like an expo full of fucking people who's waiting in line. And by like the second or third person, he's realizing he's got like another 1,000 people in line going out the door to come sign shit or talk to him. He's probably one of those people who's just like, hey, like I got to take a break for a little bit and collect myself. Like to him, it's probably like sensory overload for him, or maybe it's just way too much. I don't know. He just seems like that person who would be like, hey, I just want to go get in the fucking elevator and shut the door and sit there for a few minutes by myself.
Right.
You're spot
seems
on,
like that kind of guy.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that he doesn't need the money either, otherwise he'd be doing it,
Yeah, he definitely don't need the
he's
money.
Pretty wealthy. But you could have him and Asia at the same con. That would people would go nuts over that.
Yeah,
like.
I mean,
destroy.
Robert, we got Robert W. Harbitz too. Hello all. I saw 2 of you on Alfa Romero yesterday. Awesome.
Hey,
man.
what's up, man? Yeah.
Welcome, man.
Hopefully you enjoyed it, man, because we enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, definitely. But
Alfa Romero though, that was a damn good question. And I would say this: if that was to take place, man, like let's Dirk like Texas Frightmare or something like that, man. I could easily see, man, if you wanted to do like a photo signature, that kind of setup, I guarantee it'd be like $200. He's coming across. I mean, he's coming across the pond. Like, there's no way he's just doing that.
Might
for
be
$100.
Might be three.
Might be. Yeah.
I wouldn't even think twice either. Personally, like he could name his own price, and I'd still probably fucking do it.
Right.
There's only like 2 or 3. Like Martino's definitely one. Asia's another. They're like my main 3. And I'm not really a big like autograph guy or anything like that, but I'd have to make an exception, I think, just for them.
You got Chris C in here. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Chris?
And then we got Robert saying, I love the show. You guys were great. I appreciate you, man. Yeah.
Oh, cheers, man. Cheers, man.
Yeah.
But Alpha knows his fucking shit, man, when it comes to like Romero.
Definitely.
Like, he's like the biggest super fan I know. Like, I was trying to compare myself to like Argento with him, but I think he even like knows more. Do you know what I mean about Romero? Right. Yeah. But check out his channel, guys. Yeah,
check out Alpha Romero's, man.
He goes to Pittsburgh on his weekends off. He's like, fuck that, I'm going to where he came from.
Right, he fucking honestly, man.
Yeah,
like there's nothing he doesn't know about Romero. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I want to get to that level as well, like with these Giallo films that we do.
So that's one of the quotes I wrote down. Like I mentioned, I know I said it kind of in my own words earlier, but he said, loneliness is a pivotal role in my process.
Yeah. Oh, God, absolutely 100%.
He says, I'm often the first to get scared by my weird, creepy thoughts.
He said as a kid, didn't he? He used to dream up these just fucking different scenarios where, and he'd literally grab a pen and paper in the middle of the night and start writing down fucking ideas for films and shit, which would all come into play. And he literally got into directing by accident because Bird with the Crystal Plumage was going to be directed by someone else.
Yep.
But like Dario's father was putting the money behind it, or was the producer. And it come to a point where he said, look, you know, if you want this done, and this done, I'm going to have to do it myself. And then to come out with a film of that fucking quality as your first film with no directing experience.
Right.
You know, I know his dad was pretty much in the industry.
But you got to think he learned from Sergio Leone.
Yeah.
He was watching, because if you see a lot of the Argento shots, they look a lot like Sergio Leone shots. Like,
right. Well, that makes sense because he did write, didn't he write Once Upon a Time in the West?
Yeah.
So, but he was like a film critic, and that's what he would do. He would just write film reviews.
You see that often with a lot of these directors. They were film critics or journalists of some kind, right? And
I remember him saying that the worst feeling that he had during, of course, you know, he had his moments where the Bird with the Crystal Plumage, where there were so many difficulties financing, going over budget, overshooting, not sticking to a time schedule. They were totally day-by-day shots that he had set up. They were going out of sync so bad where he was days behind. But he said the worst thing is that he had his own father and plus other film directors that he respected that was critiquing his movie right in front of him. And the only thing that he really got acknowledgement for was the fact that one of their assistants happened to be a woman, and she was terrified by the movie. And then that's when they finally said, like, we'll actually advertise your movie for you. And it's like, God damn, dude, like that's got to suck. That's his own dad in the middle of that pile. You know what I mean? Which, hey, tough love is tough love, but it's like, God damn, man, like I can only imagine how stressful it was for him to make his first debut movie, even though knowing who his dad was, because I mean, come on, that guy was probably a hard ass.
Didn't it? So the story with that is like all these like film executives were all in this screening room one day, and they were watching the film, didn't like it at all. Like you say, the woman kind of got shit scared and all that.
And that was the only positive.
Dario, when that film was released, he was expecting the worst. He wanted to go and fucking hide away. He thought he's going to be panned. And at first, like the first week or two, like it was like lukewarm. And then it started to get like a buzz about it and people were talking about it. And then it just fucking completely blew up. And then we got fucking the Animal trilogy. And I mean, I hate to think there's a time where Argento would never have been a director, man. Can you imagine that? Fuck.
For a person who just watched Four Flies on Grey Velvet for the very first time today, I'm telling you, since that movie has went off, man, that fucking movie has marinated in my mind all day, man. And I got to say, like, from the time it ended, I knew where I was going to put that movie at, like, as far as my favorite Argento movies. But, like, as it just sits there in my mind, and I'm just like, God damn, like, what the hell? That's one of the craziest setups of blackmail, because they're not even doing it for money. They're doing it just for the sheer fact of just terrorizing a motherfucker to death.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it keeps building a little bit for me. The ending to that is batshit crazy. I can see why Argento, I'm glad that Severin got his, the director's cut of that and inserted it in it. And you could tell because they actually stick to the Italian language in that. I hate to go off on this tangent, but fuck, man. I was like, as I sit here, that movie's just kind of climbing up the ladder a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Four Flies
damn,
is my
man,
favorite
like,
of the three. Yeah.
Like, to me, it feels like Four Flies on Grey Velvet was like, it was like his perfect blueprint for what Profondo Rosso was about to become, man. Like, he just pretty much like had it like, okay, like, fuck this. I know exactly where to go from here, step it up a notch, and that shit right there. I mean, of course, he made Deep Red, and who the hell didn't know his name at that point then, right? So,
yeah, man. Yeah. And that's where he twists off. He changes again with Deep Red. Like, he does that twist. He brings Goblin in and into the element of the music with the film. And even
in the first part of the documentary, it's great to see Goblin with one of the Goblin band members. And he's saying, like, you know, basically everybody's got this premonition, like this thought of like, okay, well, he reached out to them first to do the movie. Well, he didn't. He already had somebody else doing the soundscape and soundtrack for that whole thing. Yeah. It didn't work out. And then Goblin was brought in. They just thought they were going to be like, we'll do these little tiny pieces of remastered music for the edit cuts. It was like, no, they're doing the whole fucking score essentially, pretty much. So that was great to see that too, man. That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty thorough.
You're hearing from everybody all the different perspectives, right?
Exactly.
That's what's good about it, man. And so I gotta read this. I know I'm kind of echoing what I said earlier, but I gotta say it in his words, like kind of, you know, his quote. So he says, why do I keep making such haunting, brutal films? I get asked and ask myself all the time. It's not like I can't think of other things. I like music. I enjoy having a good laugh. I guess it's due to my dark half. The monster inside likes to resurface and overcomes my regular, more relaxed lifestyle. I'm often the first to get scared by my weird, creepy thoughts. I was like, holy
Yeah, you can imagine that.
That's how he talks, though, throughout this whole thing. It's like very, almost
Jekyll
poetic,
and Hyde.
you know?
Yeah, it's like Jekyll and Hyde kind of shit.
It is. And it's like poetry when he's talking and shit. It's like, what the hell, man?
He's like mysterious, isn't he? He's playing almost playing a character.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I was wondering, is that a facade or is that real? You know, like, maybe
I don't like you said with Panic, although I think that's what you get. What you see is what you get with Dario. I don't think there's any size to him. I think he's just a very mysterious kind of guy.
He also says they're coming from deep within my being, traveling through my imagination.
Yeah. So Four Flies is creeping up then, Johnny. So where would you kind of put it now?
Out of the Animal trilogy. I'll just say
it used to be my favorite of the Animal trilogy, but Bird kind of just pips it a little bit.
Of the Animal trilogy.
Definitely, man. I mean, of course.
Quickly doing the maths.
I'm gonna say number 5 or number 6 right now for me. So okay. 5 and 6.
But out of just the Animal trilogy, like Bird, Cat of Nine Tails, Four Flies, which one you like the best of those?
Oh, Four Flies gets that
100%
hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, Cat of Nine Tails. I'm not trying to shit on that movie. I have to be in the right mood for that because I know exactly the pacing of that movie is what gets me every time.
Right.
It's just I'm sure
bland, isn't it? It's kind of boring and bland at times.
It's like eating a piece of meat with no seasoning on it, basically. Like when you first start that movie up. But yeah, man, Bird with Crystal Plumage. Don't get me wrong, man. That was my introduction, pretty much. That was my second film I watched by him. But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna take Four Flies over Bird with Crystal Plumage, man. Just the scene of the Switchblade taking action, and he looks up in the balcony and he gets creepy fucking mask, and he's just sitting there looking pictures, and you're like, wait a minute, what kind of setup is this? This is fucking bonkers.
There's a few shots in that film, man, like in the dark when it's whispering, like you hear a whisper in the dark and shit, like when he gets snuck
the sound of the killer, the killer got that kind of multi-sexual kind of voice. We don't know if it's a male or female.
The great thing is, though, man, it kind of falls under, like, especially like you can point it out for Bird with Crystal Plumage and the killer for that, and of course Four Flies on Gray Velvet, a little bit of Cat of Nine Tails if you want to, but those two, Four Flies and Bird with Crystal Plumage, that is some like mental health shit gone wrong at the end. Like you got a deranged fucking person who should have been locked in a nut house a long time ago, but they're outside in the fucking open just mingling with everybody. So the setup was fucking nuts, man. I could have swore like for Four Flies, I was like, it's the guy who kept telling him like the crazy nonsense stories of like somebody being beheaded, and he kept envisioning that shit over and over. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's the setup.
In
like
the
that
Middle
was
East,
like
right?
the trigger.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's probably the setup right there. Like this is gonna be the fucking guy right here we least expect, and it's probably gonna be that one. It's like, nope, fucking tricked you right from the beginning. It's like, damn. So yeah, man, great fucking setup, man.
Nobody talks about Four Flies much either, so it's nice to hear what you think. You know, being
the special features on fucking disc 3 of that set. Oh my god, man, Jesus Christ! It'll take me another fucking 10 days to get through all those, but it's great. On disc 2 is the Blu-ray cut of that movie, because of course the first disc is the 4K, but second is the Blu-ray. And on that disc, because I went to go comb over it to make sure I watched everything for it, because I was just in 24-minute documentary that Severin done with Argento for that release. You can tell it's very new and he's a lot older, but hearing him talk about it, how personal it was, and of course he goes over the whole story of like, my wife was sitting next to me in the theater and she's like, why do you hate me so much? And I just was like, damn. It's great.
She's great in it as well. Mimsy Farmer, I think that's one of her better. There's a couple of good performances in that. A
real celebrity like that died in real life, and we have I want to say like a transport law because of that. At the end of Four Flies, we get to see this horrible decapitation from a car running up under a truck, and a celebrity in real life by the name of Jane Mansfield died that way. So now we have what we call the Mansfield Law, which is, of course, the back of the trucks and the cars, like they cannot be symmetrical where the car would go right behind them and kill them. So, yeah, there you go.
And she was in a convertible too.
Right?
Yeah.
She was married to Mickey Haggerty as well, who was in a lot of these Giallo films.
But she dated Anton LaVey, and supposedly he put a curse on her. He put a curse on the boyfriend, and supposedly, and then she died like right after that shit. So
you can actually
that's the story anyway that I heard.
You can see pictures of her house. She had this big pink mansion in the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
I think like
she looked a lot like Marilyn, but I think she had a little more wit to her. Like she was a little smarter, I believe. You know.
Yeah. Like
wasn't as bumbly, basically.
Way before she should have. Yeah.
But she didn't have a husband like Joe DiMaggio neither. So she wasn't fucking the Kennedys.
Alpha says, I'm just good at retaining useless knowledge. No, man,
that's useless.
Let's see. Chris C says, only a few years into Argento, and will tell you this: we would not get beauty in these films without him, Baba, and others.
Yeah. They all kind of feed off each other, man. Even like De Palma, I think, got influences from Argento and vice versa. Like,
even though he claimed he didn't, which is like you watch Dress to Kill, and it's like, motherfucker, you're biting off of him.
Bullshit, man. Yeah.
Chris C says, "Oh wow, Johnny, first time for that."
Very first time for that today.
Yeah, Four Flies is top 5 Argento for me. Okay, all right.
I can see it.
It's very trippy when she switches languages in that ending scene.
Fucking really.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have Tenebrae coming in. The mail tomorrow will be my first Dario Argento movie.
Oh, fuck! I'm jealous of you, man.
Yeah,
you've never seen an Argento film.
To jump off on that one for sure.
As soon as you turn it on, you'll never forget the fireplace scene of just sitting there and that music you hear by Goblin in the background as the book goes in the fire. Fuck, man, what a moment.
And Wild says,
anyone
seen Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde starring Jack Palance? Palance says Jekyll and Hyde is 120 minutes.
I think I've seen the trailer, but I've never checked out the whole
1968.
Film. Yeah.
Maybe I might have. Once upon a time. I don't know. It's not clicking though right out the gate.
But bringing like Tenebrae's brought up in the comments, and we didn't really talk too much about that last night, which I kind of regret in a way because I think that fucking film is like the blueprint Giallo film. It's kind of, you got Blood and Black Lace, you got Tenebrae. You could probably add in like a 70s one would be Deep Red, and they're just fucking complete and utter fucking like blueprints for how a Giallo film should be. Tenebrae, I always put that in with, say, A Blade in the Dark. Have you seen that one, Johnny? Lamberto Bava.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because I put this in my watch pile today.
Okay.
I haven't even opened that yet.
It's not as good as Tenebrae, obviously, but it's got a same type of look and feel to it. I think.
Yeah, I will say go ahead and watch the English dub, and then watch the Italian track as well, because it's night and day.
No shit. Okay,
yeah, it really is.
So English dub first. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh your ass off the English dub. Then you watch the Italian, and it's a little more serious when you watch the Italian cut. So.
Oh yeah.
I think it's an underrated little gem. Yeah.
It was crazy you brought that up. I literally, right before we started this, I was pulling some stuff off the shelf just to get to, just like Dirk did with the Black Cat right before we started. I was like, let me go ahead and pull that out of the pile. Gonna get this in my watch pile right quick, put it on top. And of course, Blade in the Dark was the one I pulled right before the Black Cat. It's funny you brought that up.
Like, you've got those 2 Death Walk films as well. Don't sit on them too long. They are fucking great.
Coley, man.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
And I mean, down the line, if ever you want to, you're watching some of these newer Giallo films for yourself and you ever want to fucking come on, just let me into it. No, man, we can talk about these films all day long.
Hey, thank you guys so much, man. That's a fucking awesome, man. I definitely will, man. Just hit me up.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed this one. I was always looking forward to this one anyway, because I was dying to talk about this set for a long time, man.
Did you did you want to mention anything else, Darren, in this the My Cinema? I mean, he pretty much it even goes into, it shows the Profondo Rosso store in Italy. It shows,
shit.
It shows the basement underneath where he has all the props from all his films.
It must be part 2 then, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
part 2.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it shows like all the movie props. He's got them in like these medieval looking sails and shit.
That's still today. He's still got them today.
Yeah.
That's like a holy mecca where everyone, all over the world, they go to that place in Rome. It's pretty easy to get to as well, from what I was reading up on.
Mm-hmm.
That's one
Kazi
place I
who
want
runs
to go.
that, right? Is it Kazi who still runs that? Okay.
Kazi's in there working day to day, usually every day, and you can just go in there and start talking to him, and he's fine.
And that's what it originally was.
With you
it was a meetup for horror fans, for sci-fi fans, for the weirdos.
Oh yeah.
I've heard so many good things about Kotze as well, where he's just
he seems like a good dude. He'll
even stop like eating and stuff. If you ask him for a photo and he's eating or something, he'll just put it down. He'll start talking to you, and very pleasurable to talk to. And I've heard good stories about him. He's another one I would actually like to meet, but he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, man.
But no, I'm just looking at the documentary notes now. I think you've covered most of it.
I think we have, because like I said, it's pretty much it's got a lot that you've never seen, behind the scenes stuff for a lot of his big films, at least most of the bangers. Yeah. And some of the stuff that's not so good, but I don't think Dracula 3D comes up. I know it shows a little bit of The Card Player, and it shows a little bit of Sleepless, which I was kind of.
It's literally like 3 minutes long. The end. They kind of tack in like. They don't really go into depth either on the Stendhal syndrome trauma, which I was kind of disappointed. They could have gone longer. Yeah. Phantom of the Opera got quite a little.
I was surprised by that, but he said that's his first horror film he ever saw was the 1940s version of Phantom of the Opera.
I think that's why because that's so prominent in the documentary. It was filmed at that time, so I think that documentary was made in '98. Okay. So that kind of makes sense. Makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he starts off the first part of that where he's talking about that.
Yeah. He's got talking about too, like how he and of course he thought of it as a kid, and he kind of carried that with him, and he went back to go watch the film like frame by frame. He said, and he was just like, "This is like ridiculous."
Yeah. So, yeah.
But man, I mean, unless there's anything else y'all want to bring up, Johnny, you got anything coming up on your channel?
No, man. I just wait for the text or the phone call from you guys, man.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, keep expecting them, man. Keep expecting.
All right, awesome, man. Sure. Thank you guys so much. Dude. It's been a fucking blast, man.
Hell yeah.
That's just the first disc. I can't wait to get to fucking disc 2, man. I swear to God, if y'all would have just been like, "Hey, just go ahead and do disc 2, and we'll cover that tomorrow," I'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah, let's get to it."
Man, it's like really pleasurable fucking finding someone with so much like enthusiasm who's like recently got into these films as well. Man, like kind of your energy is like infectious. So yeah, I love it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dirk's like, usually whenever he gets too excited, we just tell Johnny to shut the fuck up for a minute.
No, man. It's always great, man. It's always great.
Thank you guys so much, man. It's been it's been great, man. Thank you guys for having me.
But I guess we're gonna get out of here. I appreciate the chat. It's been pretty live, man. Anybody that's watching this in the future, consider subscribing to DEADPIT and Subjective Perspective Collective and Johnny's boutique podcast, man. He's got a channel as well. I got it in the description. So we're gonna get out of here.
Alpha Romero
as well. Yeah, definitely.
I have got a quick thing I want to mention. I've got something coming up Wednesday with Chris, the film nerd, Chrissy, the film nerd.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 Ted Bundy films.
Okay.
The Deliberate Stranger and the fucking one with the long title that Zac Efron's in. So keep a lookout for that on Wednesday, guys.
Okay. All right. And we got Texas. Y'all check out Texas too, man. He says thanks for the stream, gentlemen. Yeah, man.
Check out Texas and his watch-alongs, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah. But we're gonna get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with talking about this too in this set, man. Deep Cuts. So we are gonna get the hell up out of here.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good
one, guys.
If I could find the damn thing. Hold on, I gotta play this right quick.
You fuck! Look, it could be a pile of shit out of somebody's asshole.
Oh, dude, that movie's great, man.
Yeah. All right. We're out of here, yo. For real this time.
You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from the EuroCrypt.